Fred Cox is ready to kick off. Preston Pearson and Doug Dennison deep for the Cowboys. And Cox hits it very, very short. At the 20-yard line, Warren Capone has it. Capone tries to exchange it. It's picked up eventually by Preston Pearson, and Pearson is down to the 19-yard line. Autry Beeman down there, and Capone, who's a linebacker, had a tough time coming up with that one.
Well, he received the ball. What he tried to do was turn around and hand it to one of those fast backs back there instead of him taking it and get as much as he possibly could out of it. He'd probably been a lot better off just catching the ball, getting behind the wedge and go as far as he could, Gary, rather than try to give it or hand it back there to one of those speedy backs that they have.
At the 19-yard line, the Cowboys, who, by the way, fumbled the opening kickoff last week, having difficulty with the first exchange. The Cowboys, the number one offensive team in the NFC. Robert Newhouse, Preston Pearson, the running backs. Wide to the top of the screen is Drew Pearson. Staubach to Newman. Newhouse to the 20, and Newhouse to the 23-yard line. Robert Newhouse, fourth in the NFC in rushing this past year with 930 yards. And they were saying about Newhouse, John, he just kind of runs underneath people.
Well, he's so small, really, for a running back, Gary, that a lot of times he can hide behind those big offensive linemen there and to pick up the neat amount of yardage you need.
That's a big offensive line of Neely, Wright, Nye, and Fitzgerald. Golden Richards and Drew Pearson. Pearson having another outstanding year, and Gene Puget, the all-time leading tight end receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Second down, 6. And running straight ahead to the 29 is Doug Dennison. Dennison, who has 7 touchdowns this year for the Cowboys to lead the club, advances the ball out to the 28-yard line. They're short by a yard and bring it up third down. Roger Staubach, a great competitor, the quarterback. Preston Pearson, what a steal he was this year from Pittsburgh. The man we mentioned just moments ago, Robert Newhouse, the fullback. Now Dennison is in there along with Preston Pearson. They have the 3 back eye offense. Now they split out of it. 3rd and 1. Dennison. And Dennison has the first down as he advances the ball to the 30-yard line. John Unitas, I think the game plan of Dallas is to run right at Minnesota.
Well, let's take a look at Jeff Seaman on his play number 50 as he comes up on in there to try to make the tackle. Gets knocked off by a very fine block. The runner picks the holes and able enough to pick up the first down. As you're talking, I think the Dallas Cowboys went into the ball game feeling that they could run right at fellas like Page and Eller and Marshall, and this is what they're doing right now.
And there is that forward wall of the Minnesota Vikings. Staubach on a first down to Pearson. 30. Pearson is out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Wally Hilgenberg, the veteran linebacker out of Iowa, over there to make the stop, and it's going to bring up a second down and 6. We have a change in the linebacking core. Fred McNeil's been starting the last 3 games in place of the injured Roy Winston, who we believe can play if called upon. He has a bad shoulder.
Both of these teams, Gary, have excellent linebacking people, and they do a real fine job on it.
28 interceptions this year by the Vikings. That led the NFC, and Krause had 10 of them. Bryant with 6. They are a savvy defensive core. Second down, 6 yards to go. Staubach to Edison again across the 40 to the 41-yard line, and he has apparently another first down. Hilgenberg, Jeff Seaman combining on the tackle, but it's a first down, and Dennison, who's fumbled only once this year, and 111 carries guarding that ball very well.
Well, they will guard the football. They don't want anybody to strip it from them, and being a little bit chilly out there, it's even more important to keep 2 hands on the ball because your hands will get cold, and you lose your manual dexterity out there when it's that tough out, when it's cold, Rick, Gary.
That's a big word, manual dexterity.
I looked that up in a book somewhere. I don't know what it means, but I thought I used it.
First down from the 41. Pearson is back in. Dennison out. Pearson and Newhouse are running backs. In motion, Pearson. Here's the pitch to Newhouse. And Newhouse is going nowhere this time. Over there is Hilgenberg, along with a veteran Jim Marshall. Marshall, they say he's just like a young colt. He just gets better every year.
Well, you know that Marshall's very plain at about 225. Let's take a look at it from the end zone play here as Roger Staubach pitches it out to Newhouse there. You see Wally Hilgenberg, 58, coming in and really breaking the play up as 3 up converge on to make the tackle.
Well, Jim Marshall loses a lot of weight through the course of the year. As you mentioned, he starts at about 240 pounds. Now he's down to 225 and maybe less than that. He just can't keep it on in the course of the year. Second down now, almost 12 yards to go. Staubach, complete to Newhouse. to the 40, the 45, 50. He's in the Viking territory, and flags are thrown at the 49-yard line. Newhouse very close to the first down. Let's see what the penalty is all about. Let's see if we can pick up the referee, Chuck Heberling. You can see it flipping against the Dallas Cowboys. You'll see that happen a lot of times on the screen, John, as they try to get up the field.
Well, the play was called clipping on 84, Gene Fugit right there, and it's a very good play. The ball was a little bit low right there for Newhouse. Arter didn't quite get it out to him. He had to go down for the ball. And let's watch it. If you see the play coming up. Well, we can't see the clip there, but Fugit was the guilty party, number 84. He's just down there trying to do his job.
62 for Dallas, clipping. Second down.
And he got it. I did.
That's because you're up here. So.
Well, I can't see too well anymore. That's the problem.
At the 35, you saw those receivers all right during your 18-year career. We have both receivers, Richards along with Drew Pearson, split to the bottom of the screen. Second down now, 16 yards to go. Newhouse, 40 and to the 41-yard line. Robert Newhouse. Alan Page made the stop. Newhouse is 5'10", 200. We saw him in the dressing room before the game, and he is put together. He's a real fire plug. A hard-nosed football player who, remarkably, John, has caught 34 passes this year, being that short.
Well, you see that the way they play the zones every morning, the linebackers dropping back so deep that they like to get the ball to those halfbacks and fullbacks and let them run with it, try to pick up as much as they can until they can draw the linebackers up a little bit tighter.
Charles Young now in the backfield. Preston Pearson in motion. Third down, 10. Wide open. And Pearson is across the 40. All the way down to the 40-yard line of Minnesota. And Preston Pearson, who had 27 catches for the year coming in here, a career high for himself, really got open on that one.
Yeah, you can see right there that the reason we just talked about is that the linebacker drop gets back so deep trying to help these outside halfbacks on his outside pattern that leaves that short stuff open for the halfback and fullback coming out of there. And they've been taking that, and the halfback and fullback have been able to pick up the needed yardage whenever they really want it.
That was a 19-yard pickup. You played with Preston Pearson of Baltimore.
He was a started with us at halfback, didn't play the position in college, and we had to teach him everything.
And first down now, just outside the 40. Staba. Here he goes, and he's going nowhere. Because Carl Eller, a veteran who just seems to play a consistent game every Sunday, was there to drop him. Moose Eller on Roger Staubach. And at the 40, a gain of a yard, second and 9 yards to go. You talked to Roger. He said the ribs were bothering him, but he didn't want to run, but looks like he'll have to.
Well, he's going to have to run with that defensive line coming in. But we mentioned before the ball game, Roger runs with the idea of picking up yardage and trying to get as much for the first down as he can, rather than like Francis, who Tarkett, who runs around and looking for an open receiver.
There you see the statistics on Roger as a rusher. In motion now comes Drew Pearson, second and 9. Newhouse gets to the 38-yard line, and that's all. As that forward wall now, led by Alan Page, starting to stiffen. What experience they have up front.
Let's take a look at Page. You see, you get a little head slap right there, and then comes back to the inside, seeing the play develop, and makes a tackle on Newhouse.
I think the remarkable thing about Page is he may be playing his best football. He just seems to get better each year. He has great pride in what he's doing.
Yeah, he's so quick, and the reason they like to run at him because he's so quick and his pursuit is so good, they figure they can blow him out if they go straight stuff right at him.
3rd and 7, the shotgun for the first time. Staba. And Drew Pearson, the intended receiver at the 30-yard line. Good coverage that time by Nate Wright and Terry Brown. Both of these secondaries are very good.
We got a flag down there on a play. It looks like we got a holding penalty by Dallas. But I don't believe Roger wanted to throw that football. At least I'm sure he would like to head it back because it almost was an interception. Try to throw it between two people, and that's very difficult a lot of times, especially the way the Minnesota Vikings play.
Let's pick it up.
Number 62, Dallas, holding, refused.
John Fitzgerald is number 62, the offensive center for the Cowboys. They will refuse it and bring up a 4th down. So, Mitch Hupps. We understand it's Hupps, not Hoops. That's the way his mother wanted it pronounced. Number 9 will go back and kick. He's a rookie out of Arizona, an 8th-round draft choice. Sam McCullum, along with Bobby Bryant, the twin safeties for the Vikings. He's going for the corner. Cullum's going to let it hit, and it made it into the end zone. Just barely. The ball will come out to the 20-yard line. A 38-yard kick by Mitch Hups. Interestingly enough, Dallas coming in here, a young playoff team on the road, held that ball 5 minutes and 48 seconds with that possession.
Well, they're sticking right to the game plan and trying to run right at Minnesota. Let's see what Tarkenton does now on first down.
Chuck Foreman and Ed Marinero, the running backs, behind Tarkenton. On first down, he's going to throw. And it's complete to Stu Boyd, and Stu Boyd is going to lose some yardage on that play. He was looking long, then he dumps it off. Very good coverage that time by Charlie Waters, the strong safety. Boyd is good, isn't he, John, at getting to an open spot?
He is. They do a real fine job on that. He was slow blocking right there, then saw that the linebacker wasn't coming, so he went out there and tried to help Francis.
Boy, there's an offensive line. That right side, Ed White and Ron Yeri have been picked for the Pro Bowl.
Well, Steve Riley, Andy Meyer, and Tingelhoff doing a fine job for him, too.
Gilliam this year with 50 catches, Lash with 37, and Boyd also with 34. He really throws the ball around. Second down now, 11. That's Marinero in motion. Foreman. And Chuck gets back that yard they lost to the 20-yard line. It'll bring up a third down. Jethro Pugh. They say Pugh is playing as well as he's ever played this year.
Let's take a look here at Leroy Jordan, number 55 on this play. As you see, he stuffs the hole and then takes the Foreman on one-on-one. Does a real fine job of linebacking.
One thing about Jordan, he's not very big, but he hits as hard as anybody. He has 6 interceptions this year, which tied his career high.
Gary, I talked to Jordan this morning. You know, his weight's down to about 2.5. Can you imagine that for middle linebacker?
Boy, he's a mean 2.5, though. Third down, almost 10. This is Gilliam. He made the catch. Mark Washington laying off of him, and Gilliam makes a first down catch to the 35-yard line.
Let's take a look at Gilliam on a play right here. Let's see if we can follow and see what he does here. Comes straight down the field, makes a little bit of an inside move, gets out of the way of Washington, number 46, and turns around. As you see, what they call a little bit of a spin on. Washington almost had pass interference, so watch him avoid him right there. He tries to avoid him, reached over his shoulder, and did a fine job. Of course, the play was completed.
John Gilliam with 50 catches, 777 yards. There's that doomsday defense forward wall. A first down. Chuck Foreman, 35, and Leroy Jordan was there. The former Alabama All-American over there at a dropping. Little or no gain on that play, and it's going to bring up a second down. Chuck Foreman this year was 73 catches, a new record for the running backs. We remind you this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Minnesota Vikings and the National Football League is prohibited. No gain on that last play, 2nd and 10. Targeted, looking first to Lash. Now he's going deep to John Gilliam. John Gilliam had beaten Mark Washington.
Well, Gilliam had gotten out there. Francis would have pumped away from Washington, and then, of course, he just beat him on the outside. Was just a little bit overthrown, and if we could have seen Francis there, he was jumping up and down. He thought he had it.
John, I think on that play you could bring up your experience. You talk about the backs watching the quarterback's eyes. Now, Tarkenton at that time looked first to Lash, trying to look off Washington, right?
Right. What happens is 9 out of 10 defensive backs, if you're not looking directly at them, they would have a tendency to relax and just kind of coast back there. And they're always taught, linebackers and defensive back, to play the quarterback's eyes, figuring he can't throw the ball where he's not looking. But you always got to remember, if he gets enough time, he can come back to you, and that's what happens. The reason he got behind Mark Washington.
Third down, 10 for the 35. And nobody's there. Little mix-up on that play, evidently, as Gilliam tried to cut in the ball behind him. Jethro Pugh put very good pressure on.
Well, let's take a look at it if we can. You see that what happened was that Francis saw the man coming in, and he just tried to get rid of the football, hang it a little bit up, and hope that the offensive back can get out to the ball, but unfortunately it wasn't. Let's take a look at it here. Got a little pressure, as you saw. Francis just threw the ball away.
Fourth down. Coming in to kick us Neil Claypool. Fourth in the NFC with a 41.1 average. Beautiful spiraling kick. Harris at the 21. 25. Very fine coverage that time by the Minnesota Vikings, and particularly Joe Blaha, who got down to the 25-yard line. So there's no score with 6 minutes left in this first quarter. At the 26-yard line, a first down, a 44-yard kick by Neil Claiborne. Preston Pearson, Robert Newhouse, the running backs. This is Newhouse, 35-yard line. Robert Newhouse close to the first down. Wally Hilgenberg again making the tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. You look at that forward wall that Newhouse runs behind, and there shows you how effective he's been. And they are big. Look at Neely, 6'6", 260. Rayfield Wright, the same size, 6'6", 260. Burton Lawless, a rookie, 6'4", 250, to give you an idea.
Well, just a quick opener over there. Very fine blocking by Blaine 9, 61, and Rayfield Wright, number 70. It opened a hole, and Newhouse just spurted right through to pick up the yardage.
9 yards to be exact, 2nd and 1. Ooh, Blaine 9. You can see he's upset. Well, he got his money's worth anyway.
Well, now I just gave him a nice compliment. He went out there and blew one for it. What's wrong with him?
Now, what would you say to an offensive guard to come back in the huddle if you were quarterbacking? You wouldn't say a thing, or?
When I just kind of look at him, I think that would be enough.
And give him the stare, huh?
Yeah, well, you got to. You know, it's ridiculous, especially on a situation like that. You got to know the count. You can't go anywhere unless you know the count.
Well, you see the 5-yard step off. It's going to bring up 2nd down now, and about 6 yards to go, just across the 30. Pearson, Newhouse, the running backs. There's Nye. He's a brilliant guy from Stanford. Excellent student there. Staubach on 2nd down. Newhouse. There's where he could have used a couple of more inches. Hilgenberg defending on the play. Newhouse at 5'10", couldn't get up high enough for that one.
Well, they had very good coverage. Nobody was open downfield. Of course, Rogers just going to a safety valve out there. As you said, he had thrown the ball just a little bit high, and you'd rather have it that way than low where somebody could intercept it. Let's take a look at, we'll see that Newhouse is short, Gary, and a lot of times what really enables him to get through that hole because of his stature, he can, avoid those big guys coming in.
At the 30-yard line, 3rd down, still 6. Now Charles Young in the backfield, along with Preston Pearson, as they go to the shotgun. Roger on 3rd down, broken up. Big rush that time by Alan Page and Carl Eller. Both of them coming through, and how many times have quarterbacks looked up and see number 88 and 81 bearing down on
Well,
them?
it's not a happy occasion to look at it because when those guys come in with their hands up, it's almost like throwing from the bottom of a barrel, Gary. There's no way to get around over top of them. You have to go underneath their armpits. And that time they had a little bit of a delay out there with the wide receiver coming underneath the action coming from out of the backfield. But Hilgenberg was in pretty good position there, so maybe it's fortunate that the ball was blocked.
Mitch Hups is going to kick this one for the 15-yard line. Sam McCullum is deep, the single safety for Minnesota. They kick short. Fair catch by McCullum. We have a flag thrown as we may have a roughing the kicker who slipped down at the 20-yard line. A fair catch by McCullum at the 40. Let's see if we can pick up what happened on this punt.
Let's take a look at it here. Mitch Hups is back there getting ready to punt. Hits the ball, and number 21 gets his foot. Really wasn't that flagrant. Joe Blaha hit him, and it really wasn't that flagrant, but when you get hit like that, you've got to act the part. He could have probably got an Academy Award on that, a la Sarah Bernhardt. Did a fine job, and the Dallas Cowboys have the ball on offense again.
Number 21, Minnesota, running into the kicker. First down.
Well, you hear it, and let's look at it again.
There's 21, Joe Blaha coming in there. Bingo, he got a pretty good piece of it.
Blaha blocked a punt earlier this year against the New York Jets. He almost got another one, but instead the kicker. Pearson, Newhouse, the running backs on the first down. Pearson. And Pearson to the 36, and that's all. Fred McNeil. This McNeil is an interesting story. He ran the high hurdles at 14.4 one time. His brother Rod plays with the New Orleans Saints, and he has played very well. Relief of Roy Winston, who's missed the last 3 games with a severe shoulder injury. We understand, though, that they think Winston could be used. It'll be the first time in those 3 weeks.
The interesting thing about these linebackers, Gary, really is, even for their size, 230, 235, they've got as much speed as a lot of those backs coming out of the backfield.
2nd down now, 9 yards to go. Newhouse, the ball is jarred loose. Who's got it? Looks like Bobby Bryant. Nope. Further up the field to 28, and I believe Blaine Nye has come up with it, the offensive guard. Roger Staubach diving in it. You worry about a quarterback going after a ball like that, but he comes up all right. Dallas maintains possession.
Let's take a look at it right here. It looks like there's a little bit of a mix on the handoff right there. You see Jeff Seaman going for the football. Wally Hilgenberg is there. Blaine Nye jumped on it, as you saw. Really good recovery for him. Right there, you see the mix-up. Alan Page had beat his man inside is what really caused the fumble, and got on to Newhouse real quick.
You wonder how he could get there that quickly. 3rd and 17 after the loss. So Blaine Nye makes up for that offside play, recovering a fumble. Preston Pearson. 30, and Pearson to the 34-yard line. Carl Eller and Alan Page again on the stop. That's the kind of runner Pearson is, isn't he? He won't run over anybody. He kind of picks and weaves his way.
He's a picker. He's a guy who has a real long stride once he gets out on the field. He looks like a big antelope, really, when he starts to get going, and he can really pick the spots. As we mentioned earlier, he started out with Baltimore, and actually we drafted him as a defensive back and then made a halfback out of him because of his speed and good hands.
4th down, still 11, and Mitch Hups will kick again from the 20-yard line. McCullum is deep. The short man is Bobby Bryant. McCullum, 35. And he's going to be wrestled out at the 37-yard line. Good coverage that time again by the Vikings. Flying down there. The hang time on that last kick was 4 seconds. We have Bill Gregory and now the defensive tackle for the Cowboys. This is Chuck Foreman. And Foreman gets 2 yards to the 39. Harvey Martin. Chuck Foreman gets off the ball so quickly. Let's watch him fire off the mark.
Take a look at it. A little bit of an open step right there. Coming back on the inside, following his offensive halfback who goes through the hole. The play is made by Charlie Waters and Harvey Martin, number 79.
The thing they say about Foreman, John, is he can get the inside yards and also has the speed to go outside. A great combination. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Foreman again. And Foreman to the 45-yard line. Chuck Foreman, the first 1,000-yard rusher in the history of the Vikings. Good block that time from Tingelhoff and Bud Grant. Well, you can't tell whether he likes it or not.
I tell you, Gary, a little story. This morning we went to church with the Dallas Cowboys here at the Marriott Hotel, and the priest there was come over to say a few words, and he said he didn't know anything about the Dallas Cowboys, so he tried to talk about it. He asked Bud Grant what he should do, and he said, take the word from me, don't say nothing.
3rd down now, a yard to go. Stu Boyd and also Krager in at tight ends. 2 tight ends on a 3rd and a long yard. Ed Marinaro, and it's going to be tough. You going to get it? I don't believe he did. Ed Marinaro tried to walk over somebody. Cliff Harris. They talk about Harris. They say he plays like a maniac, and he filled very quickly from that free safety spot. Chuck Foreman is trying to block on this play, but just couldn't quite get enough blocking done.
Let's take a look at it right here. Chuck goes into the man right there, but really can't move him. They closed the gap real good. Too Tall Jones, number 72, came down and really closed the hole up. As you saw, the Dallas Cowboys, I believe, I'm not going to say whether they did or not, they looked like they stopped them short of the 1st down, but we'll have to see what the officials say.
Well, Fran is asking for the measurement, and so they arrive on the scene. There's Bud Grant watching, and they are short by at least a half yard. So to bring up 4th down. It's awfully early, isn't it, to start gambling?
Well, so far, it's been a defensive football game. The defensive lines have played well against one another, against the offensive lines, and really are doing a bang-up job here.
I don't think anybody's surprised that these 2 teams would be flying around, and they are. They're coming after each other a little bit. Golden Richards will go back along with Cliff Harris as the twin safeties. Neil Claybowl will be kicking. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left of the 1st quarter. No score in this NFC battle. No rush at all, and a beautiful spiraling kick. Where's he going to go out of bounds? Well, he didn't get the angle he wanted. It's going to come back up the field. It was an excellent kick, but he angled it too far to the right. And they're going to bring it out to the 25-yard line. I want to remind you, a big fight coming up on January 10th. Heavyweight champion or heavyweight fighter Ken Norton against Pedro Loville. And understand the winner of that fight goes against Muhammad Ali.
Well, I'll tell you, Kenny Norton's won 33 of the last 36. And if he's going against Ali, he can have all he wants.
15 knockouts by Loville. Have you ever had a fight with anybody besides Dave Fox?
On my wife occasionally, that's about it.
All right. That'll be a good one. Norton against Loville. 1st down now from the 22-yard line. Preston Pearson brings it out to the 30. Both teams trying to test the inside, and Pearson that time dropped just short of the 30-yard line by Jeff Seaman, the little linebacker. Pearson came in here with 509 yards rushing. He caught 27 passes, and he was cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the final week of the season. What an acquisition he was for Dallas. Second down, 4. In motion goes Drew Pearson. Off to Newhouse, and as he straightened out, Robert Newhouse picked up and slammed down by Alan Page. And Alan Page, he can be awesome.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary, what that was really was a sort of a sucker-type play. Alan Page, however, did not fall for it. I think they had a little bit of an outside slant on it. Newhouse trying to come back to the inside. That hopefully was vacated by Page, but Page said, "No, sir, brother, I'm right here, and you belong to me."
And he's a 5-time All-Pro, and that's a very indicative of why he is. Picture tackle. Third down, 2. Newhouse, Pearson, the running backs. Staubach. Newhouse. Right between his legs. Fourth down coming up.
Well, Staubach was just a little bit short with that ball. If feet had been a little bit higher for him and put a little bit more stuff on, I'm sure that Newhouse wouldn't have missed. He had to reach back for the football, and that bothered him a little bit.
We talk about Staubach as you see Newhouse going off. The thing I guess that epitomizes him most is he's just such a competitor.
Well, Roger loves to win like anybody else does, and he's such a fine gentleman along with being a competitor that the players just kind of surround him all the time, and whatever he wants to do is fine with them, and they'll back him 100%.
Ups to kick again. Oh, he fell down. McCullum from the 27-yard line. Warren Capone down there, and going nowhere on that play was McCullum, as again the Cowboys stringed it out very well. Kind of disappeared on that one.
I'll tell you, Gary, he fell down on that one. The way he kicked it, maybe he should fall down all the time because he got his foot into that one real good.
Well, this is a 42-yard kick, John. I guess it's like your golf swing. You don't care how it looks if you just get the ball.
Now, he hit that soft spot we were talking about earlier right there, and I think it went down harder this time than when he did when Joe Blah hit it.
From the 27 now, at first down. And Tarkenton. Almost intercepted by Harris. Stu Voigt, the intended receiver at the 35, and Cliff Harris has 3 interceptions this year, almost had another one. He just roams all over.
Let's take a look at it from the end zone camera. Harris Tarkenton comes back and fakes a little bit to Marinero 49, rolls back to his left to pick up some added protection, sees Voigt, but does not see Harris come in for the ball. And a little bit slower with that football, I think Mr. Harris would have had himself another interception.
John, you told me at the start of this game, you thought one of the keys was to keep Fran Tarkenton in the pocket. Don't let him scramble outside it.
Yeah, Franny's at his best. We can get outside there and make these guys move around a little bit more.
Second and 10. He's in the pocket again, and he just got by Jethro Pugh at the 35, 40. Gets a first down. Jethro Pugh missed him by an eyelash, or he'd be clearing the box seat somewhere.
Well, that's the situation. Jethro Pugh was in there on him, but he just did not get his hand on him. Let's take a look at it now and watch Tarkenton sit in the pocket here, looking for his receivers. Nobody is really open. And watch Pugh come in right here, who should have had him. He went for the spot that he was, and Tarkenton went underneath him and picked up enough yardage for the first down.
I bet Fran knew he was around, don't you?
He picked up 16 yards, which is, that's just a start for him this afternoon, I'm sure, the way he runs around back there.
At the 44, first down for Minnesota. Chuck Foreman, and Foreman gets to the 45, just across it. Harvey Martin making the tackle. Harvey Martin is an interesting story. Jethro Pugh says he's just too mean. So they call him too mean. He says, I'm scared of him. That's the end of the first quarter. Second down now, 9 yards to go for the 45 as we start the second quarter. Tarkenton is going deep to Gilliam. And at the last second, Mark Washington reached in.
I'll tell you, Gary, he had him beat all the way. He got inside on Mark Washington, 46, but he did get a hand in the ball. The ball was just a little bit short. Let's take a look at it. Tarkenton is dropping back in the pocket, lofts the ball up there real good. Mark Washington does get a hand in it and makes a touchdown-saving play.
John, let me ask you now. Everybody's talked that you can't have single coverage on Gilliam, but yet there was single coverage.
Well, what they do is they try to mix it up so that the quarterback has to guess with you occasionally, and Tarkenton really caught him in a fine situation that time with a single coverage on, and it did go to Gilliam, but the ball was thrown just a little bit short.
Third down, 9 from the 45. Marinero in motion. Brand going to Lash, and Lash has got it. Now Renfro there on him, and he won't go down. Jim Lash, your former Northwestern standout, a third-year man, has a first down to the Dallas 40-yard line.
Good timing on that throw by Tarkenton to Lash, because Lash was coming back to the inside. Tarkenton had the ball on the way, and it was just a hair a little bit later, and Renfro would have knocked it down. A real good timing by Tarkenton to Lash.
One reason they think this is the best Viking team is the improvement of Lash. He's helped them. They think he may be one of the best blocking receivers in the NFL. First down at the 40. Got Gilliam again. And Washington back with him. And Mark Washington's got a long afternoon trying to stay with number 42.
Well, Francis tried to force that one back in there. Tarkenton, I can't get out of the habit of calling him Francis, and maybe someone doesn't know who he is. But he's Tarkenton. And let's take a look at Gilliam running the pattern here. He's going back to the inside. Mark Washington had pretty good position on him. Tarkenton did throw the ball back to the outside. He may have been supposed to come back out there. We don't know. We're not in his shoes or in the huddle, are we?
So Mark Washington had 4 interceptions during the regular season. Had his work cut out for him. He picks up Gilliam again. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 40. Chuck Foreman. Boy, he just disappeared on that one. As Foreman trying to move forward, then eventually makes it to the 37, Dave Edwards. Dave Edwards, one of those veterans for the Cowboys. He always plays well in the big games. He's been a very big game performer for him.
Well, he's been a steady performer for him all the time he's been there, Gary. They are blessed with some real good defensive linebackers. And so far, the Dallas Cowboys defensive line is kind of handling the offensive line of the Minnesota Vikings, and they haven't really gained that much yardage on the ground.
3rd and 7, some changes defensively for the Cowboys. Tarkenton back again. Gilliam at the 25-yard line. Nope, he did not have both feet in bounds. Gilliam did not get both feet in.
Well, he made the catch, but he bobbled the ball as his one leg went out. And that is an incomplete pass. If he kept both feet in, it'd been all right. Let's take a look at Tarkenton here. As the rush is put on him, you see 75 Pugh coming in. There's the throw. Let's watch the catch, and then watch his left leg. Then he bobbles the ball, as you see right there, does not have control of it, and the leg goes out.
There's a case again of the officials calling that one exactly right, and it brings up a 4th down. The way these guys can move up and down the field, it's tough to be in position, but the official was on that play. And so now, Neil Claybo at the 13:26 mark of the 2nd quarter will kick. There's no score here. Twin safeties back now for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going for the corner. Cliff Harris has got it. Now he stepped out of bounds, evidently, at the 13-yard line. And Matt Blair, Harris discussing the situation. We have a flag back at the 40-yard line. Let's see what this one's all about. I believe we had somebody leave before the ball was kicked, and they're going to have to kick it again. You can only have 2 men leave the line before that ball is kicked. That'll be a 5-yard penalty, and I'm sure the Cowboys will make him kick it again.
Well, they had a 25 yards on that kick, Gary, and sure, it cuts down on his average because he's angling for that corner. He does not want them to get a run back on him.
So now you see Thomas Henderson there, along with Benny Barnes, and they're indicating they will take the penalty. 5-yard mark off. So Claybo will have to kick again. Claybo really has been an outstanding kicker. They were talking about the fact he hadn't had 2 kicks blocked this year. He would have won the punting title. Steady finish for it.
Number 53 for Minnesota, illegally downfield.
53 for the Minnesota Vikings.
That's Mick Tingelhoff. I don't know what he's doing down there. He's too old to be getting down there that quick.
So he'll try it again. Claybo this time from his own 43. Again, he goes to the corner, and this one's a high one. Harris is back. Oh, he almost got hit by it. And it looks like the Cowboy touched it. Fred McNeil picked it up. They're going to rule it down at the 4-yard line. We'll have to look at that one again. Right over there in a hurry on that play was Pat Donovan, it looked like. And then McNeil picked it up, but I believe Donovan might have touched it. And that's what it's going to be. They ruled it down at the 4. Let's see if we can see Donovan 67.
I didn't see it there, Gary. I don't know.
That's what it is.
That's
Donovan.
what it is. Donovan goes after the football. It's a bad play on Donovan's part. Bad play on Donovan's part. If the ball rolling around like that, you just leave it go. Get away from it. That's the first break of the ball game. Minnesota's there for the score. Or attempt to score.
From the 4-yard line, a 1st and goal now for Minnesota. A give to Foreman. Foreman hit as Leroy Jordan was there. Jordan played remarkable football this year. There's been some talk it might be his last year. A gain on that play of about a yard to the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal there. Let's look at that play again by Pat Donovan, a rookie from Stanford who touched the ball with his left hand.
Well, there's something you don't want to do, Gary. I'm surprised that he did that. Maybe he thought it was a free ball or what. But you don't want to fall on that football at all.
John, that might be some of that playoff tension. 2nd and goal at the 3. Harkin going to try to carry it in. And he's a yard short. Brand just on a quarterback rollout that time. And I saw you shaking your head, John. You don't like to see those quarterbacks get hit.
I think that's kind of a last resort type of thing. I would rather give it to that fullback or that halfback. Leroy Jordan makes the play here, as you see. Chuck Foreman 44 trying to throw the block. And Jordan comes in, and 43, Cliff Harris, really makes the stop at the 2-yard line.
We have a 3rd and goal now at the 1. Trying to drive in for the touchdown. The Vikings fighting in. Chuck Foreman able to bring it in. And they take a 6-0 lead as Foreman, who had 22 touchdowns in the regular season of play, gets the first here this afternoon.
That's the guy you want to give it to right there, Foreman or Marinaro. Just get behind that good offensive line and blow them out or get up over the top, whichever way you can. And that's a gift right there. Merry Christmas, I would say, from the Dallas Cowboys. That's a tough play.
So at the 11:49 mark, the first score as Fred Cox will attempt the point after. He's missed 2 this year. He's 46 of 48. Kraus to Hole. Cox hits it, and the Minnesota Vikings have taken a 7-0 lead. Fred Cox to kick off. Dennison back deep along with Preston Pearson. Pearson's going to take it to the 20. 25, 30, and he brings it out to the 33, and a flag thrown. We may have a tackling by face mask on that play. Pearson almost broke that one up the middle.
Well, the wedge came right real good and blocked the middle part of the line. Let's take it here as Preston Pearson picks it off. Watch the blocking form up front as Pearson just runs straight ahead. Sees the hole, tries to make the cut. Blaha got a hand on him, and then the other 2 men came down and made the tackle.
That's what it is, too, John. It's tackling by face mask.
Pete Athos, number 45, on the tackle.
That moves the ball out to the 40-yard line, so the Cowboys have excellent field position. 11 and a half minutes left in this first half. Drew Pearson goes in motion. Roger Staubach wants to throw. Newhouse, 45, 50. He's got the first down. Boy, he took off, didn't he? Was all the way to the 48-yard line. Fred McNeil. Newhouse showed some quickness on that far sideline.
Well, they were going. He was trying to go deep again. It's the same old thing that what happens is the linebackers really get back deep and shut everything off. Helping out, as you notice. He just goes right to Newhouse right there. Let's watch the quick start that Newhouse has, enough to pick up the first down.
They compare him to Don Nottingham, except they feel he's a little more shifty. At the 47. There's Roger delivering the ball. Those guys with the purple shirts around him all the time. Pearson in motion. On a first down, Dennison. And Dennison is greeted rather roughly as he gets across the 45 to the 44. Doug Sutherland made the stop. John, I think we've talked about that forward wall. There's Roger Staubach. When Sutherland came in, replacing Gary Larson last year, they got a new look in that forward wall.
Well, it gives them a different look because Sutherland puts enough pressure on from the inside as far as rushing the passer is concerned. It's a great asset to him where whereas the other fellow was kind of just play it soft, look for the draws and the screens and the lay type up the middle and let the other three rush. But now they got 4 good rushes on that defensive line.
Second down now, 7. Preston Pearson in motion. Newhouse to the 40. Newhouse inside the 40-yard line. Jeff Seaman first to greeting. Robert Newhouse. What a year he's had. At 108 yards last week. His best day of the year. Only one other fullback in Dallas history has gone over 900 yards. That was Don Perkins, who had 945. There's been 2 years that a running back for Dallas has gone over 1,000 yards, and Calvin Hill did that both years, 72 and 73. Third down, a long 2. Dennison's got the first down. Doug Dennison, just short of the 35. He's been a good man on the goal line situations. You can see there, short yardage, he really goes after it.
Well, that's that full house backfield right there. You see Newhouse and Pearson going into trying to open the hole along with Blaine, line number 61, as Dennison picks the hole and dives for the first down. Very fine blocking by the 2 backs. Doug Dennison, 111 carries and 1 fumble, which is pretty interesting.
Well, he was a free agent out of Kutztown State in 1974. A first down. Roger. Staubach back to throw. Look out. Carl Eller closes in. Carl Eller drops him at the 38-yard line. Doug Sutherland was the guy that was forcing it up the middle, and Eller finished it off.
Well, that's what happens. 69 Sutherland, as you see, takes an inside rush, coming in there, leading Blaine Nye, and really causes Staubach to come back up to the inside. Let's take a good look at it right here. Staubach has to move to his right and then back up inside off of Rayfield Wright's block. And Carl Eller gets a hand on him. That's the importance of that inside rush, Gary. If you can control the outside guys and get that inside rush, it forces you up into the inside, and you're really in trouble with that situation.
Second down now, 12 yards to go. 9-12 left in this first half. Dennison in motion. Staubach. Complete. And with the catches, Gene Fugit. Fugit, who had 38 catches this year, playing a wide receiver the first 5 games, then moved to tight end. Fred McNeil runs him out, and it's going to bring up third down and still 4 yards to go.
Well, Fugit has really done a fine job. Last year, as you mentioned, he played outside receiver when Billy Joe Dupree was in there and having a good season. And then this year, Dupree was not doing too well during the first part of the year, and they moved Fugit back to the inside. He's done an excellent job for the Dallas Cowboys.
4th-year man out of Amherst. Last year he caught 9 passes. This year 38 to show you the remarkable improvement. 3rd and 4 from the 30. On the shotgun. Staubach having to run, and Eller's there again. Carl Eller again coming in to make the stop. And Eller said in the papers this week he feels this is the year for the Vikings, that they're going to win it all, and he's playing like a Pro Bowl or a Super Bowl.
Well, let's take a look at Eller. Rayfield Wright blocking on him, moves him back to the outside, which is what you want to do. Again, the pressure coming up from the inside causes Roger to step back to the outside and then go up inside. Actually, Eller was really taking care of the outside. The pressure came from the inside to really force him. And when that happens, you are in some bad trouble unless you can get by him real quickly.
You're in hot water. This will be a 49-yard field goal attempt by Tony Fritsch. Fritsch has hit 22 of 35. Tony Fritsch. And it is no good. Tony Fritsch, wide to the left. Talk about a class guy, Tom Landry.
1st and 10 for the Vikings.
He has done quite a job, and his compatriot, his counterpart, Bug Grant on the other side. 2 excellent coaches of this game. Here's Chuck Foreman. Foreman goes nowhere. Foreman hit that time by Leroy Jordan, and Jordan playing very well in this first half of play, and I'm sure that doesn't surprise you, John. He seems to get up a little more for games like this one.
I don't remember any time that I've ever seen Leroy Jordan as small as he is. I mentioned to him this morning that his weight was really, really down. He's playing about between 2'5" and 210, and that's not big at all for a middle guard. So he makes up for that with his tenacity in there.
Excuse me, John, from the 32 now, 2nd and 10, no gain. Ryan Tonkin, got lots of protection. Jim Lash overthrown him, now Renfro's got it. Now Renfro picks it off at the Viking 49. The veteran who had 4 interceptions, and Mel's been having a lot of injury problems. We didn't know until game time whether he would start or not.
Well, Mel's had some problems with his feet, but you see Fran get back in the pocket. And that's the thing you want to do to him. Keep him in the pocket and put those arms up and make him throw out of that barrel. The ball was thrown high, and Renfro's back there in order to make the interception. Jethro Pugh, number 75, was in there, and raising those hands on Fran, or Tarkington, does give him a little distraction, Gary, but as we mentioned before, you're thrown out of a barrel when you really don't have the size, 6'3" and 6'4", like some of the quarterbacks have.
The Cowboys with the ball, Preston Pearson, Robert Newhouse. In motion comes Gene Fugit. A give to Newhouse, and look who's there. Carl Eller again. Eller has been devastating in this first half.
Well, in all due credit to Eller, he's playing a fine job. Let's watch it right here. Rayfield Wright goes after him and goes down on the legs, trying to get Eller cut down, and Eller just kind of stepped over top of him. You've got to get into Eller and not try to cut him because he's quick enough to get over on top of you. The job that the 2 interior linemen, Doug Sutherland and Alan Page, have been doing on Staubach as far as pressuring him is the thing that has been enabling Carl Eller to make the tackle.
Some interesting matchups in that forward wall. Burton Lawless trying to block Alan Page, a young rookie from Florida. He's work cut out for him. 2nd and 13. Complete. Golden Richards makes the catch to the 46-yard line. You can see the snow on the sideline. It gives you an indication how effective they've been in getting this field ready to play.
Take a look at it from behind Staubach. I think he was a little bit slow on his timing right here. Richards was open, and as you see, Richards is wide open, and Roger really comes to him a little bit late. Terry Brown, number 24, on the tackle. And we saw that Richards made one of those catches against the Redskins. Mike Bass hit him one time and knocked him loose of the tackle, and he went about 40 or 50 yards for the touchdown in their ball game.
That might have been the play of the year for the Cowboys. 3rd down, 7. Shotgun again for Staubach. It's complete again to Golden Richards. And Paul Krause, the free safety there, but it's a first down all the way inside the 35 to the 34-yard line of Minnesota. Rogers getting time to throw the ball.
There's 2 big plays that time. They had a game on the Minnesota Vikings team with the Page going to the outside, Marshall coming back to the inside, which was picked up very good by the Dallas Cowboys, giving Roger enough time to sit back in there and throw.
13-yard pickup. Staubach now has hit 6 of 10 for 71 yards. A first down at the 34 of Minnesota. Dennison gets across the 30 to the 29-yard line. They continue to alternate the running backs, Pearson and Dennison, sending the play information through them. Brings up a 2nd down and 6.
There you see the 2 running backs, Newhouse and Dennison. Dennison going up the middle, following Blaine Nye, number 61, on the block, blocking Sutherland. John Fitzgerald, number 62, in on the play, blocking as well.
2nd down and 6 yards to go. We're inside. 6 minutes left in this first half. 7-0. The Vikings leading. Newhouse is to the 25-yard line. Good blocking out front of him. Preston Pearson, in particular, did an excellent job of getting the corner turn for Newhouse.
You know, Gary, Preston Pearson, as we mentioned earlier, was a big find for the Dallas Cowboys. He's gained 1,250 yards this season for the Cowboys. He leads the Cowboys in combined yardage, 509 yards rushing, 351 receiving, and 391 on kick returns. And he was cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
His best day is 101 yards against Green Bay this year rushing. 3rd down, a yard to go. Dennison and Newhouse, the running backs. There is Dennison, and he's hit. I don't know if he got it. 3rd and 1, and Dennison's hit around the face mask and dropped. And that's what you were talking about, John, is they're going to win this game in the trenches, and there was an excellent example of it.
It looked like Dennison's foot slipped right there as he got close to the line of scrimmage. It is a little bit muddy right there in the middle of the field. Let's take a look at it right here and see what happens to him. As you see him going up, plants that 1 foot, and right there he's met. No, he wasn't slipped. He just got met by Alan Page, 88.
Well, they're short. Going to bring up a 4th down, and Tom Landry now, with 4:47 left in this first half, going to send in Charles Young, and they're going to go for it.
Newhouse is coming out. That's a surprise. No, he's staying back in there.
Started out. There's Landry on a 4th down now, and about, well, let's say 6 feet to go.
Now Newhouse goes out.
They have Young, Pearson, and Dennison in the I backfield. Now they split it. Oh, hit is Dennison. And he's not going to get it. What a defensive effort by the Vikings, particularly Wally Hilgenberg. He ran into a brick wall.
Oh, did he? Wally Hilgenberg really knocked him. Let's take a look at it right here. There you see the ball handed. Preston Pearson's kind of waiting in there, looking for somebody. And then he bounces back outside. Wally Hilgenberg comes off and makes the tackle.
Fine defensive effort. Chuck Foreman going nowhere. Bill Gregory, 77, and also Ed Too Tall Jones. You can't get back there much quicker than they did.
Well, I'll tell you what, the best offensive play that the Minnesota Vikings have was the touch ball by Donovan, number 67, to give them the real fine field position on the 4-yard line. This defensive line of the Dallas Cowboys is certainly, at this point, outplaying the Minnesota Vikings forward wall.
Billy Joe Dupree, a tight end for the Cowboys. They had a change. Calvin Peterson came in at linebacker, replacing Dave Edwards on this play. 2nd down, a loss of a half yard. 2nd, 10.5. Brad Tarkenton. Ed Marinaro over the middle. And flipping was D.D. Lewis. Lewis is not a very big linebacker either, but he has good mobility. Let's look at Ron Yeri, the all-pro offensive tackle for the Vikings.
He's blocking on Ed Too Tall Jones, number 72. As you see, the hands are out in there. This is permissible for the offensive line to do now, although it's not permissible to hold him like he is there. But he's blocking out Too Tall Jones, which is a job in itself.
Kind of had a hole in that jersey, didn't he?
Well, this is all is fair in love, war, and in football playing.
3rd down now. Almost 11 yards. Now only one set running back. That's Marinaro. Ran, as you saw, 4 for 12. Complete to Marinaro. 30. And he brings it out to the 35-yard line. Calvin Peterson and D.D. Lewis. Looks like he's short of that 1st down. D.D. Lewis cut him down. Marinaro, the only running back, just kind of running to an open spot that time, and he dumped it off to him.
Well, I'll tell you, number 50 of the Cowboys, D.D. Lewis, had great position on him. The ball was thrown to Marinaro, and as he made the reception, D.D. Lewis slipped down and fell. The reason that he made so much yardage on the play, otherwise, I'm sure it would have been short of the 1st down. Maybe it is still, but he would not have picked up that much yardage.
Ed Marinaro this year had 54 catches, 3rd best in the NFC. He and Foreman represented the first time any 2 running backs on one team caught over 50 passes each.
Let's take a look at the play there, Gary, and see if we can see D.D. Lewis going across. There we see Jethro Pugh coming inside. Just throws right there. As you see, D.D. Lewis right there falling down. Otherwise, he'd have had it back at maybe the 20, 21-yard line. Calvin Peterson, number 58, comes in and makes the tackle for the Dallas Cowboys.
So it's a 4th down. Label a kick from the 21-yard line. 7-0. The Vikings lead. 3:21 left in the first half. That's a low kick. Richards gets away from it. Joe Blaha is down there, and Blaha is going to watch it go out of bounds at the 22. So at the 22-yard line, the Dallas Cowboys will have it. Well, coming up next Sunday, January 4th, the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship game to play the winner of this one between the Cowboys and the Vikings right here on CBS.
It should be a good one, Gary, regardless who wins the day.
You know, the thing that impressed me about the Rams is they've had those injuries, but they have been able to come back, and everybody's playing well for them.
They are. They're a good group of football players, and they're well coached out there with the Los Angeles Rams.
I wonder who they'd like to have win this with. They've got a tough opponent, whoever it is. So now, at the 22-yard line, Dallas with the football. Pearson, Newhouse, the running backs. Preston Pearson, and Pearson gets to the 25, 26-yard line. You see an awful lot of gang tackling today. A running back really drawing a crowd.
Well, the gang tackling is the name of the game. You just don't bring down good halfbacks and fullbacks with Pearson and Newhouse by one particular guy. You've got to have that extra effort by all defensive linemen and really go to the ball. The ball certainly will draw a crowd, as you know. And these guys were playing great football this afternoon. The defense and offensive lines doing the job on both teams.
He's going to bring up a 2nd down and 6. Newhouse and now Doug Dennison in the backfield. Roger complete to Fugit, and Fugit trying to drag him for the 1st down, and he might have done it. Gene Fugit may have been able to bring Fred McNeil on his back far enough up the field for the 1st down, and he did. 2-minute warning is here now. 2-minute offense in effect. A 1st down for the Cowboys. To Preston Pearson, 30, 35, 40. Pearson to the 45, the 50. He's all the way to the 45-yard line of Minnesota. Drew Pearson doing a big block on that play. And as an end result, Preston Pearson goes all the way to the 45.
There's a fine screen set up here by Staubach right here as he kind of hesitates right there and then draws the Marshall number 70 in on him. The throw to Pearson right there. Watch the blocking in front of him as Pearson picks his way downfield. Fitzgerald's down there. Number 61, Blaine Nye throwing a block there. A fine run, a fine play, fine execution by the Dallas Cowboys. Here we got a different view of it, what the quarterback looks at. As he drops the ball off to Pearson, then you can pick out the blockers right there. Pearson going up the middle, see some daylight. Paul Krause standing there waiting for him. He wants to stay back there as deep as he can and let someone else make that tackle. He wants to be the last guy, if possible, to have to come in and make the tackle. And they convert. Here comes Alan Page coming up behind. That was a 24-yard gain by the Dallas Cowboys. 1st down.
Thus far, Staubach, 8 of 12 for 104 yards in this game. Leading receivers thus far, Richards 2 for 21, Pearson 1 for 19, Fugit's got 2 for 13. This is a 2-minute offense, and John Unitas, you were the best at this. And he's got a minute 44, 45 yards away. He's in pretty good shape to put it into effect.
He's in pretty good shape, but you wouldn't believe me if I told you that Tarkington was the leading ball carrier for the Minnesota Vikings, would you?
He's hit 5 of 13 for 39 yards. There's been a lot of offense by Minnesota in the 1st half. Roger Staubach on a 1st down, scrambling. Eller is after him. Carl Eller, who's just been unbelievable in this 1st half. Doug Sutherland again put the initial rush on, forcing him out of the pocket, and Eller got there.
There's the importance of that good tackle up front. Sutherland coming back to the inside is missed by Blaine Nye right there. Forces Staubach outside. Rayfield Wright had fairly good position. Carl Eller, 81, chasing Staubach down, now making the tackle.
Staubach on the 2nd and 18 from the shotgun. Gets away from Page. Being chased by Sutherland. And he gets out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Roger really having to scramble around now as the Vikings realizing he's going to put the ball in the air or just teeing off.
Well, they're dropping back real deep. And there's something there, Gary, that if you saw Fran Tarkington get outside that pocket, you would automatically see those receivers downfield coming back to Tarkington, trying to get to an open spot, get into Tarkington's view so he can find it somebody and drop the football off. That's something right there that the Cowboys did not do.
Roger Staubach this year set a Dallas Cowboy record for completions, completing 198, breaking his old record of 190 set last year. He was 139 yards short of the club record for passing yardage, and he didn't play last week. Newhouse, Pearson, the running back. 3rd down, 18. Oh, mishandled snap. Up the field, and trying to come out is Drew Pearson. He did not. He was out of bounds. Roger had a tough time on that snap from center.
Well, the snap was a little bit high into his right there on that one, and let's take a look at it right there. You see it was going out back to his outside. Roger did not have both feet firmly planted on the ground when he had to take it. He's moving to the right now, looking for his outside receiver. Ball's thrown a little bit to the outside.
Look at it from the end zone.
Snap from there. You see how it went outside of him on the right-hand side. He wasn't really ready for that. He just expected directly straight back at him.
There's Sam McCullum going back for this punt for Mitch Hups. The Vikings have won their last three playoff games here. They were unbeaten in the regular season here, 7-0. They've been tough at all. Hups just got that one away. McCullum, fair catch. At the 19-yard line now, the Vikings with 1:08 left. And a 7-0 lead.
Well, let's see what Tarkin does here. Were they going to be satisfied with the 7 points and try to grind it out, or they want to get down there try to get down there for a field goal. They had a 35-yard punt on that one. And McCullum caught that one. Looked like Willie Mays out there in center field with that basket catch. He wasn't going to miss that.
Well, Fran has hit 5 of 13 for 39 yards and 1 interception. As the Vikings scoring on a big break in this game. A ball that they pounced on at the 4-yard line and then took it in at 3 plays. That's the difference. Chuck Foreman to the 21. Pickup of 2. Jethro Pugh. You know, Pugh, they say, is in the best condition of his life. Like the Rock of Gibraltar. Maybe having his best year. An 11th year man from Elizabeth City State. All right, there they are, Brent, Irv, and Phyllis. They'll have the halftime, the highlights, and what we can expect and what happened yesterday. Very interesting show coming up at halftime. They're in that trailer.
They're down eating candy and everything else, probably.
Nice warm view. Marinero to the 25-yard line. Harvey Martin makes the stop, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and still 3 yards to go. So with 18 seconds, the Vikings are just going to kill the remaining time. The Vikings with a 7-0 lead, scoring on a 1-yard smash by Chuck Foreman after Pat Donovan touched a punt, setting the ball up at the 4-yard line when Fred McNeil fell on it. And that's how it stands right now. So there's the end of the first half of play from Metropolitan Stadium. The Vikings leading the Dallas Cowboys 7-0. All right, we're ready to go in the second half. 7-0. The Vikings are leading. There's Bud Grant, who'd like to get his team into the NFC Championship playoffs a week from today. That game, of course, will be broadcast starting at 3:30 Eastern Time right here on CBS. Brent McClanahan, Sam McCullum are back deep. 7-0. The Vikings, who have won their last 3 playoff games here at the Metropolitan Stadium. A run up by Tony Fritsch. And it's a squibber. Dave Osborne is over there, and Osborne falls on it at the 25-yard line. Dave Osborne getting on the ball. He was sure he had it that time before he tried to run with it.
Oh, Ozzy's been around a long time. He knows all the ins and outs. He's not going to take any chances try to pick the ball up and run with it before he's got it. Number 42, Randy Hughes, was down there for the Dallas Cowboys to make the tackle. They have pretty good field position, Garrett. 25-yard line, not bad.
Excuse me, John. Osborne, prior to this year, was the leading rusher for a season. He had 972 yards. And Chuck Foreman, of course, broke that when he went over 1,000 yards. From the 25-yard line now, the Minnesota Vikings have the first crack of the ball. On first down. And Marinero at the 40, 45, 50, to the 45. He's away from Leroy Jordan for a moment, and Jordan gets him at the 35. And he would have gone.
Well, it was a big play. They isolated Marinero on a linebacker on D.D. Lewis. Let's take a look at Marinero coming at her on D.D. Lewis. Starts up inside. Puts a pretty good move on D.D. D.D. lets him get on back on the outside of him. And Tarkin just lofted the ball back to the inside. Very fine throw. Big play by Marinero. Cliff Harris, number 43, and Leroy Jordan come down and make the tackle.
You got a feeling, John, that they saw something. We talked about that at halftime.
Well, they isolated him on the linebacker. That's what you try to do. 40-yard play.
Chuck Foreman. Foreman for 2. 40-yard pass completion that time. There's Roger Staubach. Ed Too Tall Jones making the stop. Roger in that first half completing 8 of 13 passes for a total of 100 yards. So at the 33-yard line, second down now, and 8 yards to go. Marinero in one game caught 11 passes. That was against San Diego, which is a Viking record. Dave Edwards comes out. Calvin Peterson replaces him at linebacker. Targeted to Foreman. Foreman to the 30. He's going to get another yard or two before Ed Jones drags him down at the 28-yard line. Ed Jones, 6'9", 260 pounds.
There's a play to Foreman, and Marinero gets a good block. Watch Foreman's legs continue to go and drag number 72, Ed Too Tall Jones, with him. Gary, we've had a lot of calls on switchboard about that fumbled punt, or they say fumbled punt. Want to know why the 5-yard rule was not invoked as part of fair catch. It was just something that was missed.
Well, it's a judgment call. And now at the 29-yard line, it's third down, 3. Tarkenton. John Gilliam. Now Renfro defending on that one. Renfro already with one interception, and Gilliam hits the deck.
It's a little bit icy off that football field right there. Look at Gilliam as certainly has Renfro beat right there. The ball is a little bit overthrown by Tarkington.
John Gilliam.
And we have Fred Cox coming in for the field goal try.
Well, Cox this year now hasn't missed inside the 40-yard line. And this is going to be a 45-yard field goal attempt. So it's a little outside where he's been automatic. Cox, and the kick is not going to make it. It's short and to the right. So Fred Cox, who hit 13 of 17 attempts coming into this game, does not get it. Preston Pearson, Robert Newhouse, the running backs. Little or nothing as Jim Marshall right on top of Preston Pearson to the 31. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8. As running right up the middle has been the game plan of Dallas. They've had some effect. You know, you talk about the Alan Page and why they like to run at him. One reason is he's such a good pursuit tackler. They think that takes that phase of his game away.
Well, he's so quick, Gary, and the big thing, he's not what you'd call, 260, 265 tackle. He's so quick, and the guys can blow him off. They can get into him real quick and get him off that ball. He plays off the ball a little bit so he can read quite a bit.
2nd down, 8 from the 31. In motion goes Doug Dennison. Looks like a mishandled snap again, and Staubach's in trouble. Oh, the 35-yard line, running for his life. Jeff Seaman, Wally Hilgenberg there. John, it looked like he didn't get that exchange from John Fitzgerald.
He did not get a clean exchange right here, Gary. Let's take a look at it. As you see, it hits his hand, then he drops and finally gains control of the football, and then gets out of the way of Doug Sutherland, 69, who's coming in there. Blaine Nye knocking him down. Now he's looking for a place to either to fall or to run to. And 58 and Jeff Seaman and Wally Hilgenberg come up and make the tackle on him.
That's a lonely feeling, I would imagine.
That's something you can't have happen to you. That's all there is to it.
3rd and 3 from the 35. Play action by Staubach. Look out, here's Eller. He completes it to Preston Pearson, and Pearson has the first down, but Staubach paid for that one. Carl Eller hitting.
And I think we got a flag on the play after the Staubach was down right there, Gary, although I don't know. And I don't know whether that ball was tipped or not. Did you see like it was tipped? It looked like it was tipped to me.
Well, let's look at it and see. We're going to have it coming up. Going to have a 15-yarder coming up now against the Minnesota Vikings all the way to the 37. Let's hear what it is all about.
Let's take this little bit of a play-action pass right there. Fake the fullback coming up. And Staubach going back. Eller coming in, hitting him. And watch Preston Pearson get the catch. He's hit right there, and he's down. And here comes Hilgenberg, who I guess the play is against right there. Personal foul.
That's what it is. 15 yards. Moves it to the 37. We think maybe that Alan Page did tip that ball, as you mentioned. Gene Fugit in motion. A first down. Targeted. Complete. To the 25, Billy Joe Dupree to the 20-yard line. Dupree to the 20, another first down. Dupree catching 9 passes in the regular season, the former Michigan State All-American, and now the Cowboys are rolling.
Well, they're in real good field position right here. That was a big play for them. Dupree really just kind of sneaking across the middle on it. Let's take a look at it here. As you see, everybody going to the strong side. Dupree moving from his tight end position. He's coming right across the field. Staubach following a gain of 18 yards. 1st and 10 on the 20.
Roger Staubach trying to tie this game up from the 20-yard line. Pearson and Newhouse, the running backs. Roger almost across the line of scrimmage, and now he does. As Fred McNeil runs him out. Roger wanted to throw deep. It looked like Fugit in the corner down there, and also Drew Pearson, but couldn't get him open.
You see Tarkin is 6 completion for 15 for 79 yards, and Roger Staubach 10 for 15 for 130 yards. But the Vikings have the 7 points on the board, and that is the difference at this point.
Well, he picked up on that play a couple of yards scrambling. 2nd and 8. Newhouse and Dennison now in the backfield. Staubach that time rolling outside of Carl Leonard, getting some more time.
I would think that he would have decided to run a little bit sooner on that. He had a guard in front of him, and he had plenty of room to go with it.
From the 17-yard line. Now Dennison to the 10. Dennison has another first down. It'll be a first and goal as he's at the 7-yard line. Nate Wright dropped him, and Doug Dennison done a very good job running inside against Minnesota.
Well, Rayfield Wright doing a fine job on Carl Eller on that one, and then Dennison, of course, just picking his hole after the blocks are already made and picking up some real good yardage, going down. It was first down for the Dallas Cowboys on the 8-yard line.
So a first and goal, Newhouse and Pearson, as the Cowboys have put this drive together very well. Roger gives off to Preston Pearson, and Pearson's to the 5, and that's all. It'll be second and goal there. Jim Marshall inside.
Jerry, down here is where it really gets tough now. These guys just kind of digging in like a bunch of bulls on that offensive and defensive line, trying to blow each other out and just trying to create a little bit of a gap for these guys, Dennison and Pearson and Newhouse, so they can squeeze through there.
They're going to bring in an extra tight end now. Billy Joe Dupree has come back in. Going out of the ball game is Golden Richards. So Dupree and Fugit are in there on a second and goal from the 5. Preston Pearson, 6'1", 205, quite a basketball player at the University of Illinois. This is Pearson. The 5 hit hard at the 4, and that's all. Good reaction by the Vikings, particularly Carl Eller forcing. And it's going to bring up a third and goal. Terry Brown on the tackle.
Let's take a look at it right here. Staubach handing it off to Pearson. Sutherland out there, Seaman coming up. Eller stringing everything out, gets the initial contact. Terry Brown, number 24, and Doug Sutherland, 69, finally make the tackle. Different angle on this shot here. As much like the play of Carl Eller, who really forces the play. Good tackle by Sutherland and Terry Brown.
Very important play now. Third and goal at the 4. Newhouse, Dennison in the backfield. A give to Dennison, and he is very close. He's in. He is in for the touchdown. Doug Dennison diving forward, and we just mentioned ago how tough he's been on the short yardage situation.
Well, that was a great surge by that offensive line over there. Blaine Nye and Rayfield Wright on that side, and really moving them. Fitzgerald, number 62, got Page and tried to move to the outside. Dennison fixed the hole. Seaman on the tackle, but he's across that goal line.
And now the chance to tie up the game is Tony Fritsch. That was a 72-yard drive in 9 plays. Dennison
There's the play from a different angle, Gary. Same result.
Tony Fritsch adds the point after. And it's a brand new game now. Doug Dennison, who scored 7 touchdowns in the regular season of play, has knotted this game up on a good effort up the middle. He just did get those arms in. You can see how he's protecting that ball. He does an extremely good job of that.
One time you can't afford to lose it. It's not that close, Gary.
Fumbled once in the regular season. Tony Fritsch kicking off. Sam McCullum lets it hit. And he can't find a handle. Oh, that lost his head at the 13-yard line. So the Vikings don't have the field position they want. 7-7 to score as the Cowboys on that last drive of 72 yards in 9 plays tying it up. Randy White and Thomas Henderson forcing a tackle on this last play. And at the 13 now, Fran Tarkenton's crew has a football. There's Roger. Boy, he was impressive on that drive.
He was. He did a fine job taking him down there. And, of course, that big penalty on personal foul penalty helped him a great deal.
Rogers 10 of 15 for 132 yards now. Fran, play action. He is going deep to Chuck Foreman. And Foreman can't hang on. He and Charlie Waters are having quite a battle. They were kind of jostling each other, and Foreman, I think, thought he might have been interfered with.
Well, he had him turned around quite a bit. Looked like they hit that soft spot down there right on the 40-yard line, Gary, and Waters almost lost his footing. We'll get a look at it here. There you see Foreman looking the ball. Waters not seeing the football. There was no interference at all. He hit him after the play was over. That was just kind of a love tap to let him know he was around there.
Tarkenton now 6 of 16 for 79 yards. Dave Edwards comes out of the game. Calvin Peterson replaces him at linebacker. As there's the Minnesota Viking crew.
Second and 10 for the Vikings at their 13.
Second and 10 from the 13. Complete to Lash for a moment. Looked like Lash might have it at the 25. as Mel Renfro defending. And again, we've seen the Vikings before this year, John, and it appears as though Fran is not going out of that pocket as much as we've seen in the past.
Well, I think the big thing, talking to the offensive, defensive coaches, Ernie Stotner this morning, and telling me that they're going to try to keep him in the pocket, and that's the way that you got to do with him. You can't let him out the pocket. Keep Ed Too Tall Jones and Harvey Martin on the outside and get some pressure from the inside. And if you can do that, it's complicated. It's tough for Tarkin to throw out of that pocket because it's not real tall. He doesn't see as well.
So it's a third down, 10 for the 13. Ted Tall Too Jones is back there. Fran, 15, 20, 25. And he gets out of the bounds of his life as Waters and Mark Washington coming up, and that's what Fran is so good at doing.
Well, you see, there's a perfect example of what happened. He had him in a pocket, and the man went in there with reckless abandon and trying to take his head off instead of being under control and just make the tackle. Let's watch Jethro Pugh and Too Tall Jones, who have an end tackle game. Too Tall goes in right there. You see, if he had been under control, he'd have had Tarkington without any problem. This way, he gets outside, linebackers are dropped deep, and Fran has all the time in the world just come running up and then trying a little dipsy doodle there, but he's getting out of bounds. You have to worry about that.
That's exactly what we were talking about. They got to keep him inside. They didn't on that play. So it's a first down now at the 27. Foreman to the 30-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Chuck Foreman, 1,070 yards rushing, 73 pass completions, 22 touchdowns, and he's limping. He's been a very durable back. He is actually the fullback in the Minnesota Viking offensive set. They made that change this year after moving him from the running back spot, and their offense better designed to utilize him that way.
Well, it gives him a little bit better blocking, a little bit better running plays for his ability inside and outside. Plus, he's a great ball receiver as well, pass receiver.
Marinello in motion, second down, 7. Fine defensive play by Mel Renfro. Renfro coming back on Jim Lang, and the old veteran has really come up to the occasion today.
Well, you can see a lot of people were booing out there. They thought there was some pass interference, but Renfro really went back on his inside shoulder and got over on it, hit his hand, got his hand on the football, and did not allow the completion. And right now, Gary, as was the first half, Tarkington is still the leading ball carrier for the Minnesota Vikings.
There's Bud Grant on the sidelines. This Vikings not putting it together offensively right now. 7:07 to go in the third quarter. We come to a third down and 7. Tarkington. Look out. And he's down at the 23. Ed Jones and Randy White. They have White in there now in place of Harvey Martin. Randy White, I don't think they really know how good he's going to be. He's going to play somewhere.
He's going to be a terrific football player. He's out of University of Maryland. And here we are again. They're maintaining control of Tarkington inside that pocket. Too Tall taking the outside. Randy White and Ed Jones putting the pressure on. Too Tall forcing him up inside, and Randy White coming from behind making the tackle.
Randy White, the second player taken this year in the college player draft. Steve Bartkowski of Atlanta first. Former All-American from Maryland. He won all kinds of honors there. Clabo to kick from the 9. Golden Richards at the 41, the 45. Runs into his own man, and at the 47, down he goes. Newhouse and Preston Pearson, the running backs. This is Pearson. Pearson spinning to the 49 of Minnesota. Wally Hilgenberg, who's been on a bunch of tackles here today, made that one. Hilgenberg, just an excellent athlete, one of the better athletes on this Viking team.
Take a look at here, Pearson taking the ball. Sutherland right there gets a hand on him, but Pearson kind of twists out of the hole. Hilgenberg, number 58, coming up to make the tackle. Offensive line is kind of blowing the Minnesota Vikings, not blowing them out, but they're doing a great job on that offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, they have some real credibility up front. High and all-pro, Rayfield Wright, Ralph Neely. Give to Newhouse. And Newhouse could have broken that one for maybe the first down had Bobby Bryant not gotten in his way. Fine tackle by Bobby Bryant. So to bring up a third down and 3.
Take a look at it here. You see Ralph Neely back, number 73, on Hilgenberg, opening up the hole. Newhouse right there. Kaiser trying to get over number 20, Bobby Bryant, but just cannot get the one leg up over top of him.
Bobby Bryant's had an excellent year for the Minnesota Vikings. one of the top punt returners in the NFC. 6 interceptions, which is 4th best in the NFC. He missed all but one game last year with a broken hand. 3rd down, a long 3. Dupree has come in along with Fugit, 2 tight ends. Play action by Staubach. He's going to run for it. And he slides to a 1st down. To the 41, Roger knew where he had to go, and he got down in a hurry.
He got the 1st down. That's a big play for him. He's not going to go over and try to run over top of anybody. That's the way he's gotten hurt in the past, by staying up on the ground. I guess he's taking a lesson from Tarkington, who you see quite a bit when he gets out in that open field. He goes right on down there and protects himself. He's they tell you to get in that fetal position, Gary. Put them arms down and them legs up and just kind of hide.
Okay. For the 41-yard line. I don't know. You didn't run that much, did you?
As little as possible. And when I was running, I wasn't really.
At the 41. A 1st down now. Newhouse, Pearson in motion. Newhouse across the 40. And a little guy, very tough and determined, makes it to the 37 before Carl Eller downs him there.
Blaine Nye and Rayfield Wright doing an excellent job on Carl Eller and number 69, Doug Sutherland. Linebacking crew of the Minnesota Vikings are certainly having their time of making the tackles this afternoon. Chuck Foreman, 12 rushes, 22 yards. Newhouse, 11 for 32.
This Dallas Cowboy forward wall is big, it's mobile. They have allowed this year 41 sacks, but that's not really indicative of how effective they've been because Rogers scrambles a lot. An end around to Fugit. Fugit on an end around inside the 35-yard line. McNeil, Seaman over there to eventually tackle him. They're 3 yards short of the 1st down. Cowboys will do a few interesting things. They'll have some new wrinkles.
That's the first razzle-dazzle type play we've seen this afternoon. Otherwise, it's been just kind of basic stuff. Let's take a look at it here. It's a fake to the fullback. You see Fugit, 84, coming around. Blaine Nye, number 61, and Rayfield right out in front of him. He takes up an inside move. You see Jeff Seaman over there to make the tackle.
3rd and 3 for the Cowboys.
Pretty good play.
3rd down now, a long 2. They have 2 tight ends, Dupree and also in there, Fugit. Saba. And he's got a 1st down, I believe. Let's see where they mark his forward progress. Run out of bounds by McNeil. Burton Lawless, the rookie from Florida, former All-American, threw the key block. I don't know if he made it or not. They may have to measure as, again, Roger rolling with the option to pass or run and going for that forward stick. It's going to be very, very close.
You get a play like that, Gary, you got to have someone up there forcing. Of course, when you have an outside receiver down there, the defensive back has to stay back. Regardless, he can't come up. So normally you're going to get a linebacker force on a situation. And they say it's a little bit short. Let's watch Roger out here as he rolls back to his right with a fake right there to Dennison. Burton Lawless in front of him right there, number 66. Blocks Carl Eller. Carl Eller gets one hand on him. Number 54, McNeil, finally drives him out of bounds, and he's about a foot short of the 1st down. 4th down, and looks like they may go for it.
Well, you remember earlier they went for it on a 4th and 1 and did not get it.
Well, let's see if they don't go to the right side this time instead of the left.
That was back in the 2nd quarter. Now here in the 3rd quarter with 3:01, a 4th and a matter of a couple of feet. Dennison and the bread and butter guy gets the 1st down. He has been worth his weight in gold here this afternoon on those short yardage plays.
Well, they missed it the last time as they went over the left side, tried to go over Page and Hilgenberg. This time they went over Sutherland. Siemens coming in here. Eller gets knocked down. As you see, Paul Krause, number 22, and Terry Brown, number 24, up there trying to make the tackle. Robert Newhouse with a fine block in front of Dennison.
So the Cowboys are 1 for 2 in 4th downs at the 30-yard line of 1st down. Preston Pearson. Pearson hit for a yard loss. Real penetration made that time by the Minnesota Vikings. They reacted extremely well to it. Wally Hilgenberg back there. He's been a starter since 1968 for the Minnesota Vikings. His 12th year. He was a college teammate of Paul Krause at Iowa. They were both co-captains, and their coach is Jerry Burns, who's an assistant now with the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, Hilgenberg was in there so quickly. They actually had a blitz call on the situation, and he read the play very good and got his head in there in time to get Pearson.
2nd down now, 11. Dennison back in along with Newhouse. 7-7 to score. Staubach to Newhouse to the 20, and Newhouse to the 17-yard line. Nate right up there, and the little guy waving his arms over there, so he'd notice him.
Well, I'm sure he was kind of afraid that maybe Staubach wasn't going to see him because he was open at the start of the play. Let's take a look at it here from our ground camera. As you see Staubach going back, he wants to look down that field as long as possible, and then at the last second goes to Newhouse. As you saw Carl Eller and also Alan Page come in and put the arms up. There's Nate Wright making the tackle and making a save, and Newhouse making a definite effort to get the first down.
A first down at the 17. Drew Pearson, 88 in motion. Give to Newhouse, and Newhouse to the 15-yard line. I think that last play, John, really shows me what you've talked about all year, and that's the defensive coverage job. That was an example of Staubach looking left and then throwing right to Newhouse.
Well, you have to do it, Gary. These guys concentrate so much on the quarterback's eyes that unless you do something with them, you know, you're not going to be able to find that open receiver. And they just kind of let Newhouse alone that time. Of course, Roger wanted that deep person down there if he could get him. And then coming back to that auxiliary man at the last second, which he's been doing so well this afternoon.
Gain of 2 on that last play. 2nd and 8 from the 15. Look out. It's away. Newhouse couldn't make a move as he was covered very well by Matt Blair, a second-year man out of Iowa State. But what really messed that up was Fred McNeil getting through there so quickly. I don't think Tom Landry was too happy about that last play. Let's watch it.
There you see the play. Look at the expression. Oh, come on, Tom, say something.
He was quite a defensive back.
I don't know what he's saying, but I'm glad we can't hear it.
From the 15-yard line, 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 for the Cowboys.
The bottom of the screen is Golden Richards. Drew Pearson flanked to the top. Now they go to the shotgun. Third down. Preston Pearson, and he made a fine catch. He's going to be short, however, I believe, of that first down. It's going to bring up a 4th down at about a yard. Hilgenberg went high. That's a fine catch by Preston Pearson. Pearson getting up all of 6'1". As we said, he was quite a basketball player, and he used his jumping ability that time very, very effectively. So it's 4th down again. As the ball is going to be spotted at the 7-yard line. What is it, about a half yard now?
It's about a half yard. What do you do, Gary? You got to go for the 3 points, I would think, to put 3 points on the board.
Well, that's going to be the end. And Tony Fritsch is going to attempt the field goal of 25 yards. It's a 7-7 game. Waters to hold, and Fritsch's kick is good. He hit 13 of 14 in the regular season of play and just added one now to give the Cowboys their first lead in this game, 10-7. Fritsch now to kick off. Brent McClanahan at the 10. 20, 25, 30, and he had a big hole. He is to the 34-yard line. Randy Hughes, a rookie out of Oklahoma, an outstanding young man who has been a backup to Harris at the free safety spot, made the tackle at the 34-yard line. So the Vikings trailing for the first time in this game, 10-7. We look at McClanahan once again.
Let's see the play here as McClanahan takes it. They set up a pretty good hole for him right there, and the tackle is made, and the ball is fumbled. Now, they blew the ball dead. You have to guess as good as mine.
At the 34, Fran Tarkenton on a first down. Complete to Ed Marinaro, and Marinaro's forward progress across the 35 to the 36. Larry Cole came pouring through that time, but Fran still able to complete the pass. Ed Marinaro. There is what he did in the receiving department this year. Number 3 in the NFC. He's really matured this year. That's been the big difference in Ed Marinaro. From the 39, 2nd down, 5. There's a delay to Chuck Foreman. Foreman trying to get outside. He's to the 45, and that'll be a first down. Charlie Waters dropped him. There is a flag on the play, however. There's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. As Foreman had the first down, Chuck Heberling coming over, and the indication, illegal procedure against my Minnesota Vikings, and that really hurt him, as Foreman did an excellent job that time. There was nothing up the middle, and he got outside.
Well, it was a little bit of a draw run there by Foreman, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, that is the best first draw we've seen all day.
We have a change defensively. Calvin Peterson and Dave Edwards, who continue to alternate at linebacking. Now in the ball game with the gloves on is Calvin Peterson, number 58. There's Dubois, John Gilliam. The huddle with Ed White. Boy, is he a strong man. 270-pounder, former All-American from California. He and Yeri both on their right side have been selected for the Pro Bowl. 2nd and 10. Chuck Foreman trying to do it again, and nothing. He disappears as Jethro Pugh and Larry Cole make the tackle. Cole playing inside after playing a defensive end so many years. He was moved in when the retirement of Bob Lilly came around. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and still 9 yards to go. Chuck Foreman's had a tough time. 14 carries thus far in this game for 27 yards. Still, Tarkenton's the leading ball carrier for the Vikings. 3 for 32. To show you how effective Dallas has been. 3rd down, 9. And it's got the time. It's Dubois, the intended receiver, to 49. Calvin Peterson defending on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Dubois, who Fran Tarkenton feels one of the most underrated tight ends in the game. And his best season this year with 34 catches for 4 touchdowns. And now Claypool will kick. And Golden Richards will go back. 13 minutes, 25 seconds left. The Vikings trailing 10-7. They were hoping to make this their first leg up on a return to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time, but they've got their work cut out for them. Claypool with that beautiful kick. What a kick. Golden Richards. Well, that's kind of embarrassing. He ran into him, looked like Cliff Harris. And now we have a discussion going on. That's one of the best tackles made here today. Claypool had a kick that time of 52 yards. So now from the 20-yard line, the Cowboys with a 10-7 lead. In motion goes Drew Pearson. To Newhouse, and no play. Maybe a yard to the 21-yard line.
Hilgenberg on the tackle.
So Wally Hilgenberg over there wrestled him down at the 21. A gain of 1. It will be 2nd down and 9. Claypool on that last kick, John, I've always wondered about this. He had a hang time of 4.3 seconds, meaning once the ball hit his foot and was caught, 4.3. That's very good, isn't it? You can get around 4 seconds.
It's very good. You try to keep it up for at least 4 seconds. Another, what that does is let your men get down underneath the kick, and normally you don't have one that's run back on a situation like that. Unless when it's a real deep kick, and then the guys can't get back there down there too soon.
I'd kick your coverage, in other words. Right. 2nd down, 9. Newhouse and Dennison. Running backs, and Spuget in motion. Roger Staubach throwing under pressure, complete to Dennison, and Dennison at the 25. Boy, Paul Krause hit him in a hurry. Paul Krause, along with Fred McNeil, forcing the play. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down, and still 5 yards to go.
McNeil came clean on that. What happened, everybody went to the left side. McNeil, just seeing that his responsibility has already gone, came in on Staubach and kind of tried to get to him. Staubach did unload the football before McNeil was able to get in there.
Tom Landry on the sideline. His young and surprising team, which many people feel might be a year or 2 away. 12 rookies on the team. Right now they're leading. 3rd down, 5. Newhouse in motion. Roger scrambling. The 30th flag is thrown as Roger gets the first down before Jim Marshall made the tackle, but there's a flag back at the 19-yard line. Roger that time really surveyed the situation. He knew where everybody was and saw the alley and took off. He's got that great vision. They talk about peripheral vision in quarterbacks. They say you had it, and there was an indication of Roger with it. They're going to bring it back anyway. A costly penalty for the Dallas Cowboys. Earlier, it was the Vikings who had a very costly penalty. This one moving it back to the 20-yard line.
Well, now's the time they can't really afford these type of penalties, Gary. They got to try to maintain possession of that football and don't do anything, don't do anything stupid. just try to keep the football and grind it out and make those first downs. Don't come up with anything real fancy at this particular point.
Charles Young down the running backfield. A third down after that 5-yard illegal procedure. 3rd and 11. Roger going deep to Golden Richards. Well, you know who feels the worst about that right now? Golden Richards, who's made a lot of big plays this year.
Let's take a look at it here. They got the blitz on. Jeff Seaman coming in. Roger unloads the football. And let's watch Richards as he just outdistanced number 20, Bobby Bryant. Right there, the ball should be caught. The perfectly thrown football, well, a little bit behind. If he just does get a hand on it, you like for those kind of guys to come up with the football, Gary.
Mitch Hucks will kick now from the 5-yard line. The deep man is Sam McCullum. Fine kick. Boy, he got into that one. McCullum at the 31. Calvin Peterson, also Raleigh Woolsey back there. John Ward, number 72, trying to throw a block as both of them converge on McCullum in a hurry. Calvin Peterson's a wild man. They talk about him being an outstanding special teams guy. Second-year man from UCLA, and he really got down in a hurry. So now from the 30-yard line, I want to remind you the NFC Championship game a week from today, and it might be right here, but the Vikings are going to have to win it, as we'll have it on CBS beginning at 3:30 next Sunday. And either here or Los Angeles.
Well, whatever it is, Gary, you know it's going to be a good football game, as is this afternoon.
Boy, this is a dandy, isn't it? From the 30-yard line now. A first down. Fran Tarkenton. He's cranking up to Gilliam. Intercepted almost. Almost picked off. Mark Washington, who's done a very good job down on the play. And we have a flag back at the 35-yard line. Mark Washington is going to dream about number 42. He's seen him so often running stride for stride.
There's Mark Washington going up the football. It just lets it go through his arms. His eyes did not follow the football down into his hands. That's what happens. You got to look the football into your hands at all times.
I believe we may have had an eligible receiver downfield. I believe that's the indication. As you see Leroy Jordan having the situation explained to him.
Yeah, this is probably the first time in this particular play here that the Too Tall Jones let Tarkenton to the outside. And you saw he rolled that way. Too Tall got caught on an inside block there by the offensive man. Ron Yerry was not permitted to keep Tarkenton back in the pocket. He got outside, and that's when Tarkenton really becomes effective.
An eligible receiver downfield. That's what it is. A 10-yard step-off. It moves the Vikings to their own 20-yard line. First down, 20 yards to go. Fran's got his work cut out for him. Interesting statistic on number 10. Fran this year hit 64% of his passes. 2,994 yards and 25 touchdowns. A delay action to Foreman. Foreman to the 25. He fumbles the ball. It's loose at the 27-yard line, but Minnesota has it. 7-yard pickup, and almost losing the ball was Foreman. It looks like Andy Maurer, 66. The right or left offensive guard came up with it.
There's Foreman coming through right there. Number 50, D.D. Lewis, coming in to make the tackle. And there he's stripped by the ball from number 55, Leroy Jordan. Number 66, I believe, it's Stu Voigt. Andy Maurer, I think, finally came up with the football, but Stu Voigt was around it as well.
A gain of 6, but it's still second down and 13 yards to go. Almost a 7-yard pickup. Tarkenton. Chuck Foreman, he's got the first down to the 43-yard line. Chuck Foreman, Mel Renfro and Cliff Harris combining on the tackle. Jethro Pugh was coming after Fran Tarkenton, but he had just enough time to complete it.
Now you see again, is that what we talked about before. Tarkenton rolling a little bit to his right, getting to the outside. No pressure from that particular side. Did get some pressure from Jethro Pugh from the backside, but they've got to maintain control and keep him in the pocket if they expect to do anything. Tarkenton is very, very effective when he's able to do that.
16-yard pass completion to the 43. Just inside 10 minutes to go in this game. 10-7. The Cowboys leading it. This is Marinaro. Marinaro can't get up the field as D.D. Lewis dropped it at the 45, and it's a pickup of 2 yards. He was kind of off balance after he made the catch, and Lewis was right on top of him. Second down, let's give him a pickup of 3. Second down and 7. There's Bud Grant. They have a change now. Jethro Pugh is coming out, and Randy White defensively coming in. Leroy Jordan coming out, and Benny Barnes comes in. They got an extra defensive back in on a second down, and a long 7. Foreman, look at him, nice across the 50. Beautiful run by Chuck Foreman. He has that ability to stop and start and change speed, and there was an example of it.
I think it was a fine call by Tarkenton right here. Everybody was coming in expecting fast. You see the handoff to Foreman, who pitched the hole very, very well. D.D. Lewis came in and did not get a shot at him. The tackle was made by number 31, Benny Barnes.
I don't believe they got the first down. Oh, it's going to bring up third down, and a matter of a foot. Going to bring in Steve Craig, an extra tight end. Also, Charles Goodrum, 68, comes in.
This is going to be a good situation. You know, you got third down and about inches right here. Maybe a little bit of a fake run. They kind of just drop the ball out there to a halfback somewhere, let him run with it if you can possibly get it. But it's a good run-pass situation. If you don't make it on this down here, try to go for the touchdown maybe, and you come back and go for the first down on the next play, Gary.
Well, if number 19 is on the field, I know what was going to happen right now.
That's why coach is right here.
All right, here we go. Third down, a foot. Marinaro in motion. Ran to Marinaro. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? First down. You know, you almost feel sometimes that, yeah, you called that one, didn't you? That they could do that all day. I mean, they make that look so easy in a situation like that.
Well, this has been one play, really, that Tarkenton hasn't used today, and normally he uses it 5 or 6 times a ball game. And Mark Washington, 46, coming over, making the tackle on Marinaro, will push him out.
First down at the 41. The Vikings down by 3 points. Getting close to at least field goal range with 8:25 to go in this one. Boy, this crowd is really up now. Brand on the play action. Jim Lash. Lash was held up a little bit on that play, and Ed Too Tall Jones came storming through. And it's going to go to a 2nd and 10.
The offensive line of the Minnesota Vikings now is starting to do a little bit of a better job protecting Tarkenton and giving him a little bit more time. Of course, his ability to roll out occasionally has taken a little bit of the pressure off the offensive line. He's been staying in the pocket because they've been keeping him, but they've been forcing pretty good rush by the Dallas up through the middle. He's rolled out a couple times now, which makes them a little bit leery that he may do it a couple more times.
2nd and 10 for the 41. Brand, the Foreman. Foreman makes the move. Gets away from Peterson to the 30. He's got a first down to the 29. Charlie Waters made the stop, but it was Calvin Peterson that got a hand on him, and that was all as Foreman got away from it.
Let's take a look at it, see if he doesn't have some bad footing back over there as Peterson comes across. Tarkenton goes to Foreman with the pass. As you see right here comes Peterson here. He just overruns it. What he does, really, Foreman slipped a little bit, or he may have picked up some more yardage.
You ever seen a back with better balance than Foreman? He really has excellent balance.
I was surprised, really, Gary, talking to Chuck yesterday, just how big a man he is.
McClanahan now in along with Chuck Foreman. There is a reverse action to McClanahan. To the 30, 25, to the 20. He's to the 17, another first down. McClanahan set in to run that reverse. Cliff Harris made the stop, and the Vikings are moving.
Take a look at it here. There's the Foreman, and that's the McClanahan. Tarkenton out in front. I don't know where he's going to the seat. Tries to throw a block right there on Mel Renfro. McClanahan and Charlie Harris making the tackle, but talking with Tarkenton one day last week, that he feels that McClanahan is a lot better runner than what Marinaro is.
At the 16-yard line, a first down. 6 minutes, 49 seconds left. Chuck Foreman to the 10, Foreman to the 5. And it looks like he has another first down. It'll be first and goal. Cliff Harris made the stop, and the Vikings are awesome right now.
Let's take it here. Foreman right there. McClanahan in front of him leading the interference. Foreman breaking back to the inside. He gets a fine block from Ron Yeri. And is down on the 5-yard line where it's first and 10, first and goal for the Minnesota Vikings. Here's where the Dallas Cowboys have really got to strengthen up. This is where it really gets tough down there, Gary, because they're going to throw everything at you.
Boy, you don't think he's not ready. He wants to see what's going on. It's first and goal just outside the 5. Chuck Foreman again. He slips, but he's still on his feet. Chuck Foreman looks like he's about a yard away. Second and goal. Great second effort.
Very fine blocking up front as well from Ron Yeri. And Ron Yeri on the outside right there. You see McClanahan, Foreman slipping there, Stu Voigt blocking everybody out of there. The fake was real good. Too Tall Jones went for it, and of course Foreman just going to dove back to the inside. On a 1-yard line, second down and goal.
So the Vikings, their most impressive output of this game. 5 minutes and 24 seconds left. There's Tony Fritz. At the 1, Carpenter asking for some quiet. Brad giving up. McClanahan, and he's in. Is about to come apart right now as this partisan Viking fan really excited about this.
There's Cliff Harrison trying to make the stop. McClanahan bounces off of two would-be tackers and dives into the end zone. Great second effort by McClanahan. Here it is from a different angle. As you see, he hasn't lost his footing. He just keeps fighting.
Point after attempt now by Fred Cox at the 5-11 mark. 13-10 the score, and it's now 14-10. The Vikings hang on here and win. They'll be playing in this exact spot a week from today against the Los Angeles Rams. Should Dallas win, it'll be 3:30 Eastern Time next Sunday from Los Angeles. Doug Dennison at the 15, the 20, the 25. Dennison at the 26-yard line. At the 26, Dallas with the ball. Stop made by Matt Blair. The Vikings with a 4-point lead. Roger Staubach needs hit. 13 of 20 passes for 156 yards. Now has to bring his team from behind. There's that last drive. Most impressive effort of the afternoon by Minnesota.
It has been up until this time. The best offensive play was that recovered fumble. Not recovered fumble, but recovered punt that Dallas touched and let lay around on the ground.
Just across the 25-yard line. Cowboys at Newhouse. Preston Pearson in the backfield. Drew Pearson in motion. Roger intended for Pearson. It's short of the mark. Jim Marshall was the guy that hurried it out. Marshall, boy, 16 years in the league. And look at him come through on this one.
Let's take a look at it here. Somebody missed the block on Marshall. It was a fake right there. Looked like Ralph Neely, who should have probably brought Marshall down to his knees, was out there too fast and let Marshall come through.
At the 25 now, brings up a 2nd and 10. They've had a tough time getting the ball to Drew Pearson today, who's been a big performer for him. Baba. Good protection. Now it's breaking down. Marshall and Page are there. Nobody open on that play. He had time, but couldn't find anybody.
Had plenty of time to throw. There just wasn't anybody open. The secondary is doing an excellent job back there. Let's take a look at it, Roger, from ground level here. You see the linebackers. Newhouse stops in the middle. He's looking around. Page coming. Marshall's coming. Everybody coming when you have the time.
You're telling me, John, when you play quarterback, you sense when you've run out of time. You don't see it, you just feel it.
Well, you try to base everything on a timing type situation. You get to be able to tell 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and 4 seconds. And you know if you're back there after 2.5 to 3 seconds, you best get out of there before you get your head torn off.
So it's a 3rd down, 18 yards to go. The Cowboys with 4:25 would like to keep this drive going. handled. Snap. What's happened? I believe. Wait a minute. Was the ball blown dead before the snap? I think it was. Yes, delay a game. That's the reason Roger didn't go after the ball. I was surprised he let it fall to his feet. Delay of game 5 yards. Be now 3rd and 23.
I'm glad he heard the whistle because I sure did.
You can't hear anything right now. The Viking fans are on their feet. Chuck Heverly indicating delay of game. Moving the ball back inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. 3rd and 23 now. 4:16 remaining. Roger needed a big play. He really needs it now. Another bad snap. He's coming out of it. Oh, I'll tell you, he has people all over the place. The 21, Jim Marshall, hits him.
I don't know, Gary. Roger didn't see number 84. Gene Fugit was down in the secondary all by himself. I was waiting for him to put that ball up in the air, but maybe he may have been across the line of scrimmage. Just look at it. Fitzgerald hits him with a low pass, and he can't find the handle. Finally goes up inside. And he's got Fugit down there. He just kind of looked, and he can't find him. Then he decides to run with the football.
Boy, Jim Marshall about took his head for a souvenir on that one. So Hups will kick. There's Ed Marinero and Bud Grant. Hups from the 7-yard line. Sam McCullum deep for the Vikings. That's not one of his better efforts. And it's going to bounce to the 45. Picked up by McCullum. Sam McCullum. Now we have a flag back at the 20-yard line, which is about the line of scrimmage. Well, McCullum trying to shake everybody up. Come up with that ball. Or was that Bobby Bryant?
Bobby Bryant. That's kind of a very, very tough thing to do. You know, nobody had touched the ball. Nobody had downed the ball. And if he would fumble that ball, it would have been a live football. I think maybe what he thought somebody had touched it. If it was just laying there, he got a shot of picking up and going. And then if he's hit and fumbles, it doesn't make any difference. The ball comes back to where it was down. But that's a very, very bad thing at this point, I would think, to try to do.
Well, anyway, they refused the penalty as we had an illegal man down the field. I'll remind you now, next Sunday afternoon, the winner of this game will meet the Los Angeles Rams for the championship of the NFC Conference and a trip to Super Bowl 10 in Miami. CBS will broadcast the game next Sunday, whether it be here or in Los Angeles. McClanahan has scored the go-ahead touchdown moments ago. Advances the ball to the 49-yard line. D.D. Lewis made the tackle.
Washington and D.D. Lewis
Brings up second down and 7. The Vikings now with 3:05 would like to waste some time.
Well, now the important thing is to be able to control the football, keep it on the ground, get that 2-minute warning to come up, maintain control, and their defense really has to go all out here, try to strip the ball from the runners, do anything they can to get a hold of that football.
2nd and 6 for the Vikings.
Vikings coming in here with a 12-2 record. 7 of the last 8 years. They've won the Central Division Championship. The Cowboys in the playoffs, 9 of 10 years. McClanahan again with a 50. He's short of the first down, dropped to the 48. There's again D.D. Lewis on the tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. Going to bring up 3rd down and still 2 yards to go. Well, you look at this game statistically. Grant has hit 11 of 25, 121. The leading ground gainer is Foreman, 18 of 56. He's leading everybody in the game, both the Cowboys and the Vikings. The leading ground gainer for Dallas has been Dennison, 11 for 36, and of course he scored a touchdown. Rand targeted, talking things over. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. Well, I want to remind you, John, this is a thing I'm really looking forward to seeing. CBS Sports Spectacular. Going to have a brand new series called Challenge of the Sexes. Now, what do you suppose that might be?
I don't know, but I don't think I want to get into it.
Well, at CBS Sports wanted to find out if a woman can beat a man at a sports event and how much of a handicap, if any, a woman would require. Tennis competition begins next Saturday, January 10th. That should be a good one.
Well, it'll be Natase and Goolagong. And that ought to be some kind of an event.
That's right here on the CBS Sports Spectacular, January 10th. That'll be, 2 weeks from today. Well, Bud Grant's crew, right now, in a pretty good situation. They have a 4-point lead, and with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. at the 47-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
3rd and 2 for the Vikings at the Dallas 47.
Third down, 2. McClanahan in motion. Fran, a little bit of trouble. Charlie Waters has got him. And you saw Fran hanging onto that ball. Charlie Waters making a big stop.
Target in the ball.
Now,
Tackle by
on
Charlie
fourth
Waters.
down,
It is fourth
that was
down.
a very important play.
That was
3rd
a
and 2, and they held him.
Excuse me, Gary. Big play by Jordan. It was the same type of pass that they went out there on that 3rd and 1 situation with Fran going that way, as you see. Waters coming in from the outside. Foreman missed the block on him. And he gets almost lost the ball right there. And he gets down a big play by Charlie Waters. And now we got a punting situation coming up for the Minnesota Vikings.
That's the 2-minute
And at the
warning.
2-minute roll.
From the 35 will kick. Golden Richards is deep. 14-10, the Vikings. Golden Richards calling for the fair catch at the 15-yard line. That took 9 seconds. So with 1:51 left, Roger Staubach hoping to keep the Cowboys in the 1975 season. In other words, competition. Well, I guess he will anyway, because they're going to play next year, January 4th. But the loser, of course, it comes to an end.
Well, it's all back down to a minute and 51 seconds, Gary, and I see what they're made out of, whether they can go the distance on it, because they sure have to have the touchdown and not a field goal.
Pearson and Young in the running backfield. They're going to the shotgun. In motion, Charles Young. Fly back, complete to Drew Pearson. Now, Pearson, as we mentioned, they haven't thrown to him much today, but he's very close to that first down and stops the clock with 1:45.
It's an excellent throw. Let's take a look at it from the ground level camera behind the quarterback. He throws it over top of the linebacker. Pearson coming back, making the catch. Threw that one right over McNeil. Stepped out of bounds, stopped the clock at 1:45. And that's what they got to do. The Minnesota Vikings are going to give ground a little bit, but they're not going to give too much.
So at the 24-yard line, they're a yard short of the first down. 2nd and 1. And a fine defensive effort that time by Bobby Bryant. He reached in on Golden Richards at the 39-yard line. Bobby Bryant, seen some excellent defensive play by those quarterbacks on both sides. Renfro, Bobby Bryant. And that brings up a 3rd down and a yard.
Well, he's got to come up with a first down right here in order to maintain control. He's still got a minute and 40 seconds to go, and he has 2 more timeouts left in the ball game, so he's not in too bad of trouble, but he's got to get that first down, Gary. So I would think that he'd probably come up with maybe a little bit of a run or something here.
A minute 40 left. 3rd down, a yard. Fly back again. Got protection. Complete to Golden Richards, and Richards has the first down across the 30 to the 31. Bobby Bryant made the stop. Got to give credit to that offensive line. That's Drew Pearson instead of made the catch. His second catch. That offensive line kept scrambling for him.
I'll tell you what, the Staubach must have been a pretty good baseball player, because he'd been picked 2, 3 of them up off the ground there from John Fitzgerald. That was another low pass. And there's another one.
I don't believe it.
Now, you just can't, man, this is the crucial part of the ball game. You can't be doing stuff like that.
Jim Marshall.
Into the 24, a loss, and the clock with 1:06 now.
Now you come up, it's 2nd down and 15 yards to go for the first down. You can't have those things happen to you.
Tom Landry trying to have him hurry up because that clock is going. 1 minute now remaining in the game. First down, 17. He's hit as he threw that one. Roger went down at the 14-yard line. I think I said 1st and 17. It was 2nd and 17. Now it's 3rd and 17, just short of the 25-yard line. We've had a dandy of a game here today. 52 seconds left in it. I want to thank our spotter, Bob Brennan, and also our statistician, Jim Pong, for their expert help on this broadcast. 3rd down, 17. Go up for the ball at the 50-yard line was Gene Puget, and it comes to a 4th down.
Pass intended for Puget
Boy, I tell you, Roger's going to be a tired man after this game.
Let's take a look at it right here. He's got some pretty good pressure on him. Charlie Young, number 30, back in there trying to block. There's Blaine Nye blocking on 69. Sutherland, who's been a thorn in Roger's side all day, had a hold of him right there. He gets back to the outside. Alan Page, 88, still in pursuit, and he just overthrows the man downfield. It's all on this play right here. The whole season, 44 seconds to go. 4th down, 17 yards to go for the first down.
We have a change at center now. Kyle Davis has come in, a rookie from Oklahoma. Fitzgerald is out of there. 4th down, 17. Roger going down here. Drew Pearson. And did he make the catch? He did. He made the catch.
What a catch that was, because Nate Wright was all over it. Let's take a look at it here. Rogers back to throw and gets some pretty good pressure right there by Alan Page. There's the throw. Let's take a look at it, Gary, real close. As you see him, he made the catch and the man was knocked out. Good call by the official. 25-yard reception, 37 seconds left. 1st and 10, and they have to score 7 points.
There was no tomorrow on that play. It was 4th and 17, and he was able to convert it. Out the midfield stripe. Here's the story. 37 seconds left. The Cowboys trail 14-10. Preston Pearson. Pearson can't hang on.
Pass intended for.
Take a look at it, see if Preston Pearson doesn't slip over on that left-hand side. There's Roger looking around, finally looking for Preston Pearson. Yep, you can't tell whether he slipped or not, because it's got a little bit late. There's another shot of it right here. Let's see what happens. Pearson just kind of sneaks out to the left side. There's the delivery. Ball was just a little bit too far in front of him.
So now we go to a 2nd and 10. 32 seconds left. He is going for broke. Drew Pearson. He got it. Touchdown. I didn't know they had it for a while.
I thought the ball bounced. I don't believe it.
He just threw the ball over the scoreboard.
I don't believe it. The ball was thrown short, and the defender was not watching, and Pearson came back to make the catch for him.
He caught that ball on his hip, it looked like, John. Well, I'm sure we'll have it.
Full catch. I tell you, it was a much better catch than it was a throw. Let's take a look at it here, Gary. Fine protection. Roddy just winds up and lets it loose. Now let's watch the play by Pearson here. He's very well covered at this point. Looked like almost an interception. You see him coming back right there to make the catch. Nate Wright falls down, and Pearson just kind of backs into the end zone right there, and Paul Krause has to jump over top of Wright. 88 number, Drew Pearson for the touchdown. There's another look at it right here. Great catch. Nate Wright overran the play. Pearson made the catch. In for the touchdown.
Boy, what a play that was.
What a ball game, huh?
Now 16-14, a point after 10. Tony Fritsch. Now we've got a penalty coming up against the Minnesota Vikings here. Is kicking off from the 50-yard line is going to be Tony Fritsch.
Well, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct call wherever it was. I don't know where it was on, though. No call from the official there.
Vikings would be lucky to get a run back on this one. Tony Fritsch from the 50-yard line. 24 seconds left. The Cowboys trying to pull a major upset. They lead 17-14. Bailing out is McClanahan. 15. He's going to get out of bounds. He's not. He'll be stopped at the 12-yard line by Benny Barnes, and 18 seconds now left. Fran Tarkenton really has a Herculean task ahead of him. I think everybody here is just stunned by that Drew Pearson catch. We couldn't see the ball for a while, and he so nonchalantly took it into the end zone after he caught it.
I'm sure that they'll probably be saying that he pushed him and everything else, but you know, that's the way it goes, and the guys will have to be looking, probably sending films to the commissioner this week on something like that, Gary, because it is just completely amazing that they've been able to do this.
Fran Tarkenton has 18 seconds. Boy, it's not much time. And back there's too tall Jones. He got him at the 1. Almost got a safety. Jones dropped him at the 1-yard line with 14 seconds. Timeout called by the Minnesota Vikings. They'll have 2 remaining. Jones really got through in a hurry on that play. That's the 3rd sack by the Dallas Cowboys. There's Targeter. What's he upset about?
Well, Francis doesn't like anything about it. He's upset. They've had a tremendous season. And it all comes down to 2 big plays. Big call down here by the official on the 4th and 17. And then on a touchdown. And I'm sure he doesn't like it. You can see that great season they've had going right down the drain. And they're throwing all kind of stuff out in that field now. The official got hit right in the head.
Oh, boy.
The official got hit right in the head by something out there.
Boy.
And he's down.
That is tragic.
That is terrible. There's no need for any kind of that stuff at all. No room in this country for that kind of behavior.
Boy, John, that just makes you sick, doesn't it? 14 seconds left. The crowd reacting.
Please do not throw anything out of the field.
And
Please do not throw
Alan
anything
Page
out
is
of
going
field.
into the dressing room. Alan Page has gone into the dressing room. He's running down below us, going into the dugout. Carl Eller. Well, you know, last week they had an incident in Buffalo with the snowballs, and I don't know what the story is. I guess Page figures he's not going to play anymore with 14 seconds. Carl Eller very slowly coming on. I'm not sure what official that is, John. We'd have to check it out. But 14 seconds left. It looked like a pop bottle. It actually struck the man at the 6-yard line. Well, it's been a tremendous game. Both teams have played like champions, and then to have something like this happen really detracts from it. But Fran now still discussing. I don't know what Fran is arguing about. I really don't.
Well, I'm sure he's talking about that last play was the only thing. This is ridiculous for these things, for the fans to do type of things like they're doing. You know, you think the way they're acting, you're down in Argentina where they stab the soccer players and everything else, or wherever part of the country that they react like that. There's just no kind of place in this country for the kind of the fan reaction like this, Garrett. People who love the game and love to see it played, you know, you've got to accept things every now and then that are distasteful, and these are one of these things after a fine season like they've had, to go down to the last 14 seconds and almost have an impossible task at hand.
Well, there's the gentleman getting up.
Well, that's a pretty good reaction from the fans. They're happy to see him get up, and just kind of a funny situation to have happen. They'll look like he's taking him to the dressing room, too. Number 23 of the official, Armin Terzian. Field judge.
Yes, sir, the field judge, Armin Terzian, is the man shaken up. Well, Bud Grant, with 14 seconds, it's just going to be a miracle for them to pull it out. They're at the 1-yard line now, 2nd and 24.
I would imagine Bud Grant is going to say a few things about it. He might get another $500 fine from the commissioner.
But now, Grant targeted at his own goal line. Complete to Foreman. Foreman, 5, 10. He is out to the 14-yard line, and with 7 seconds, the Vikings will ask for their second timeout. Harvey Martin making the stop. They get a little maneuvering room, but they're still 10 yards away from a first down. They have to make it to the 25. 17-14. The Cowboys, the surprise team in the NFC, pulling a major upset if they hang on here with 7 seconds left. Tom Landry. Boy, what a great comeback by his football team.
Well, they came back with 2 big plays. There he is talking to his defensive captain over there, who's telling him just kind of stay back, stay deep, don't let him score the touchdown.
Yeah, Tom Landry, the only coach in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Well, you have to give credit to their outstanding organization. Gil Brandt, the scouting, Tex Schramm, Clint Murchison. They've got something to be proud of. People talking about them being better next year and the year after this young team. 3rd down, 10. 4 seconds left. 3, 2, and that's going to be the game. Brad Tarkenton goes down inside the 5 as Harvey Martin and Ed Jones are there. So the Dallas Cowboys move in to the championship game of the NFC.